This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Gaz, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Yes.
Oh, I got a leg cramp. I got a leg cramp. That's the rat.
Oh, that's how you know you're just. That's how you know you're just too good as an Xbox gamer. Just way too good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How's everybody? Guys, we got to say hi to the audience. We got a couple hundred people here who just tuned in to the XSC Podcast. I'm here with Gaz from Game On Daily, and this is episode 65 of this brand new podcast. How you doing, Gaz?
I'm good. How are you? Is that okay? That was a bit quiet before. I'm good. I'm dank. I'm better now that I know. I knew it. I knew it, Colt. You see, I was like, is it normal for me to be this good in bed? And then the study shows that Xbox gamers are the best in bed compared to the other console platform. I was like, I knew it. And now
they're amazing. You know, the studies show that Xbox gamers play video games in bed and they get more games accomplished and better kill to death ratio. Isn't that what they mean?
What? No. No, it's because Xbox has no games, so we're really good in bed. Because we love practice, apparently.
We don't have the banger, AAA single player games to, keep us away from, love. But, I've always wondered, Gaz, why not, help me out on this one, chat. Why, we got crossplay in Call of Duty. Why doesn't Activision just put out this could be a huge tweet, right? Or a huge article that they could push out to a journalist and say, here's the kill to death ratio across the platforms. Here's if you pull all the Xbox data that comes in for Xbox players that are playing Call of Duty, here's their collective kill to death ratio. And here's PlayStation's kill to death ratio. Gaz, wouldn't that say who's the better gamer in Call of Duty?
I've always thought, why does my eye look weird? So I've always thought that check me out on this chat. How cool would it be for a cross-platform game to have PlayStation versus Xbox lobbies? That would be amazing. That would be whatever game. You could release a really terrible first-person shooter. Oh, maybe Dr. Disrespect. You know what? You can copyright this idea for your game, whatever game you're making. Make it PlayStation versus Xbox. People will buy it in the dozens. The console wars would.
Well, why not make that? Why not make that a multiplayer mode or a lobby to jump in?
They should do it.
Just call it like the console war, and you go in, and if you're on Xbox, it only matchmakes you against PlayStation, full PlayStation people with their DualSense. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. Gaz and I have been playing Modern Warfare 2019 multiplayer. We played 5 or 6 matches the other day, and I got to say, Gaz is at the top of the lobby every game. Every game, he's amazing, and I'm at the bottom.
Not that good. I'm terrible at that game. I used to be good. I'm so old now. My fingers I just don't feel like I used to be. But that's what happens when you get older, folks. Enjoy your time.
You got to sit down and play those puzzle games, those card games. But yeah,
might as well give up and play as Dusk Falls because that's all the kind of crap I'll be able to play. No, I've played that. So I've heard good things.
It's pretty forgiving for your reflexes. If you have to hit something immediate, it's like, is your controller on your lap? Can you get to it in time, old man? But shout out to everybody for just checking out the show. Gaz and I are pretty happy to be here. Hey, let me give you guys a little bit of a background on the kind of the gears and motions of the Ecstasy podcast. I run this show on StreamYard, which is a really cool way to get your podcast into YouTube and to you guys. And it pretty much, I build all the stuff with my graphics, experience, but pretty much I can just hit the button and go. It's really nice, but I'm trying to set up the show through a couple of programs where the show's going to look nicer, and I'll be able to put up gameplay which will respond better on screen and look better. Something I've been working on. I'm really scared to test it out. Really scared that Gaz and I will run the show hopefully next week, and we won't have mics or our faces will be upside down. Who knows? But that is something to look forward to. I can't wait to show you guys kind of the same layout. But Chris, Gaz,
it looks helping. Nice. I've seen it. It's a bit of it's a bit temperamental from doing testing with Colt yesterday. Seemed like there's a lot to figure out, but I'm like, expect some kind of like bugs and problems, but it'll be worth it because it looks really clean. It just looks really nice. It's going to be a game changer. Yeah,
it'll be really nice. So bear with us. We will probably launch that. It'll mostly look, it'll be the same familiar look, the same. Unfortunately, there's no program or software available on the planet that can make Gaz sound any better than he does right now.
Yeah, right. People complain about my voice. Like, what is that sound? That's my voice, you piece of. It's like so many comments. What is that horrible?
What is that filter?
I kind of understand, actually. I do kind of understand why people think it's very Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. 90% of people probably hate it, but it's what I was born with. I was always like that. I understand, but it's my voice. # deal with it.
I know exactly what it's like, and I'm sure we would all complain. But when I listen to the last week's Ecstasy show in my car because I'm like, I don't often do that. I'm like, I want to see how this is coming across. So if you're here watching us live on Colteastwood channel, we're here on YouTube, so you get to hear us live and see us live. But if you're also listening to the show on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, show your support by sharing it. Hit the like button here on YouTube if you're going to have a good time. I want to give a shout out to Boss Mod, Lethal Papa, and Happy Bomb and Yodani that are in the chat, keeping everything clean and clear. But I just wanted to say that when I hear myself, Gaz, this is what I sound like.
Yeah, Xbox, it's your baby.
Oh, you got pretty deep voice. So it's pretty radio.
Yeah,
voice.
But I hear, it sounds good. I love it. I mean, that's kind of what I sound like to me. But shout out. Let me see. I got to get to the live camera. Shout out to the Teespring. They sent me one of my newer designs that I haven't really shown much, but I got like these retro. This is called the retro grid design I did for you guys to see. It doesn't say podcast on it, so you can wear it in the grocery store and someone won't go nerd. But I think they're pretty cool. I got another one. So
those days are gone. Everyone's a gamer now. Everyone's going. What you will do is probably, if you see a pony there, they will punch you. That's
dude. That reminds me of a quick story. I was at the grocery store a couple weeks ago, and I was wearing my Control Your Life shirt. It's dark blue, and it has like all the controllers from NES, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, right? And I was paying for my stuff, and the guy goes, he looks at me, he goes, I've played on all of those. And I'm like, what? He goes, I've played on all those controllers. And I didn't know he was looking at my shirt. I forgot I was wearing it. And I kind of was awkward, like, I felt bad. Like, did I not hear him? Was I not paying attention? Because I have ADD. And he goes, your shirt. And I look down and I go, oh, yeah. And I was like, I should have said, hey, I made this. Hey, I've got a podcast. Hey, I have a YouTube channel. But I'm like, can I get my stuff and go?
Same situation. I was in Italy, and the guy goes, bro, I love the hat. Because I was wearing the sauce hat. And I go like, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah, because me and my friends always say the sauce. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. And I didn't say anything after that. Then my French mate, he was just like, wait, tell him. I'm
Smacks
like, what?
You.
It's like, he made it. It's his brand. He was marketing. I'm like, oh, no. Just a bit. I'm still a bit weird in public. At this point, my wardrobe is all XNC, RDX, all kind of merch clothes now. My wardrobe is full of gaming clothes, which is horrible. I like to be slightly fashionable.
I've moved from the Marvel T-shirts, right, like that sort of thing,
that was
to
terrible.
like
You've
right.
You've got up in the world. You've got up in the world. It's
Shout out
J-Rock.
to J Rock. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I got a couple of comments I got to read. And Hargeet, we were hanging out with Hargeet just before the show, and you guys came here to get into the news. I'm sorry, we just kind of got warmed up a little bit, and we're ready to rock. It's going to be a good show. Last week we didn't get to talk about Microsoft's like slam against PlayStation with the regulatory stuff. We're going to cover that a little bit because it's kind of been like, it's been dragging a dead pony around, for a while, right? But we're going to talk about some game delay stuff. We're going to talk about some new game trailers and new gameplay game showcases. And I'm just kind of rattling this off in a shorthand way. But there's some cool stuff coming up. And then all the games are releasing that we have this fall. So let me start off by just, Gaz, tell the audience, what have you been playing lately on your gaming devices?
I've been playing all sorts, really. Just been going back to COD a little bit, just to practice a little bit. Ever since I got challenged, I was like, am I any good at this anymore? Because I used to be pretty decent at Modern Warfare 2. That's a humbling experience about my skills or lack thereof. I've still come to the top of the leaderboard, but that doesn't mean anything to me because I used to be really good, and it's just weird. I bought a monitor, 120 hertz monitor. That makes a big difference, actually. Huge difference. My 4K TV doesn't even get used for that, which is such a shame. I've been playing that. I've been just loads of random stuff. Multiverses, by the way, is so good. I've got a video on that coming out as well. Let's play, right? But I won't say too much about that. But yeah, I'm just mostly COD, really. Just been sinking my teeth into that. I really need to get to multiverses though, because it's got the video idea I have is brilliant. But yeah, that's what I've been playing, really.
Yeah, I've been kind of a nugget when it comes to gaming lately because I don't like multiverses. I tried it, I don't love it, and everyone else is enjoying it. And they're happy and they're laughing. I feel like the kid in the corner, like,
game. It's a good game.
I just don't. I just don't. And now I feel bad because I am literally for the first. I mean, I'm an Xbox gamer. We don't have any games, right? But I think this is the first time in 6 or 7 years where I feel like I have nothing I want to play. I loaded up Cyberpunk, and I'm like, gosh, this game, I loved it so much when it came out, but gosh, it's just not very well done. But whatever. Let me read a channel member comment here from CJad93, who says, "Hey, Colt and Gaz, have a great show. Loving my Control Your Life t-shirt, Colt. I think he won last month's merch giveaway. So yeah, appreciate that, buddy. We also got Sleeping Vistas with an Australian $3 who just puts up the super sticker, which is a workout pair with a thumbs up, which is that's hot. I like it. And Dub is in the chat. He's been a channel member for 14 months. He says, shout out to Colt and Gaz in the chat. The latest sauce vid had me dead.
Glad you enjoyed that one. It was a bit messy.
I feel like you give your soul to make these videos.
Every single one. And there's always a point in every single one where I'm just sweating like a piece of and I'm just there like hunched over the table. I'm like, is this really worth it? The videos don't even get like 5K views. Am I really breaking my back? Then there's like frame by frame. There were so many Easter eggs people didn't even notice in that video, by the way. Loads of one where Acer was a Mortal Kombat character's face in the background. Did you notice that? That was Acer's face. Every frame put his face in that. No one noticed it. Or when the dictator scene, I changed in Photoshop the little ticker to say Source Games. They even had the Source logo over there. No one noticed it. But
bro,
all I want to say is
you premiered your video. You premiered your video on Sunday morning. Yeah, Sunday morning in North America. And we were watching it, and you let me watch it before you went up to to premiere. So I got
Yeah.
I was the only one that got the special permission.
I just love
But
hearing your reaction to it. That's why.
I had to keep pause. I said, hold on, because we were watching it across the pond, right? And at the same time, and I kept pausing. I said, wait, I got to read all these tweets you put up on screen. Wait, I got to see this graphic you made. Wait, I need to see this. And the sauce videos are best digested over and over to get all of the little morsels and the amino acids pumping into your
it's because a lot of tweets, and someone actually did say, it's like, hey, look, you go through the tweets so quickly, and that is a challenge, but the pacing is so important. I have to can't have it would
be an 18-minute video if you did that. It seriously would.
Way. You can just go back if you want to and just pause it, then is what I would suggest. Although
you do something that I never do. And there are a lot of really successful YouTubers that throw something in and say, if you like it that much, rewind it or watch it again. And you do this in your videos. And I always feel like I got taught a long time ago in production, when you put something on screen, give your audience time to read it almost twice. And I can't break out of that. And you throw these tweets on right? And then everyone's
the music, the tempo. I just I have to do that way. If you want to read it, I do understand it's a challenge. You have to kind of rewatch it again. But everyone's people really love the R. Kelly clip. Yeah, that hat on his head took ages to.
Did you motion track it, or did you just
manually
keyframe it?
Keyframe. He moves a lot as he starts going crazy. It's just this is my life. Just the head moves there. And as I was doing it, I was laughing because I was laughing. I was like, wow, his head moved in the between frames so much. At that point, I actually knew the X and Y axis numbers because I was moving by increments of 5, 3. Then I was like, well, -10. Whoa, that's a -50. That's a -80. They're just laughing at myself and what the degrees of head movements in the track. I was laughing to myself. Such a weird.
And for you, tech files and stuff. He's talking about, you can go forward a frame and move the hat to stay on top of his head. Move forward a couple frames and move it again. Move it again, and you literally
every frame.
For 10 seconds, you could have 40 key points, and it's like this weird graph. It's so nerdy. And just so I can sit and laugh and go, R. Kelly's wearing a PlayStation pony stocking cap. Red Wolf, who's in the chat, who been a great supporter for 4 months, says, glad to be here, guys. You both make my Monday nights feel like Friday nights. Thoughts on Gamescom show? The Gamescom, yes. PS Colt, did you get the code I sent you? Yes, thank you, Red. Red Wolf sent me the Darksiders collection, which includes all 3 games. And so I loaded up Darksiders, the first one, and it continued off where I had played it when I was game sharing. So I don't own those games until now. Thank you so much for doing that, Red Wolf. That's amazing.
He's very generous.
Really cool. Yes,
thank you for the birthday present again.
You also, and if you don't gift me games, guys, you don't have to do that. But if you did, Gaz also gets it. So you kind of,
you game share. So just do one of us as well.
Hey, let me do something really quick, and we'll get right into the news. This is super important, but one of my producers put together a really good list of the people who are supporting the channel. I'll read them off. I've got Brian Harris. These are my veteran patrons. Brian Harris, Mark Cardwell, KY Bob, Assassin Lupa, Jazzy Noop, Xbox, Ricky Fallon, Stephen Smith, Christine, Maurice Baker, Matt Without Fear. And then the channel veteran members are Matt Burns, and some of these overlap, which is amazing. William Lanza, Nanopolymyth, Udani Kizado, who's also in the chat modding. Udani, it's always good to see you. I don't know why you don't jump on party with me, but whatever.
Udani?
We'll have to do that.
Yeah, I want to hear Udani.
Yeah, get on party chat with Gaz and I sometime, Udani. We got Robert Jackson, Lord Starkiller, Dante Moody, Betamax, Dark CMF, Gaz, Fox Storytelling, Wreak Havoc, Faultline Center, White, Devario 2 Gaming, DeBlue, Poochie, Remix Gaming, V Simcoe, Assassin, Raymond G, Dub, Larry Thatcher, Hargeet Chani, TK Chillin, Raiden Blade, Acute Perspective, True 77, Risk It for the Biscuit, and Waidia Santaso. So I'm going to be updating that as you hit the 9-month veteran mark. And I read that because I would like to have my name read. I think it's pretty cool. And you guys deserve the accolades for real. Gaz, let's talk about, yes, thank you for everything you do. Gaz, let's talk about delay season. We just learned a few days ago Hargy Johnny called this one, bro. Hogwarts Legacy, the Harry Potter game, got pushed. Were you surprised?
No. In fact, actually, the day before that, Jeff Grubb was like, anyone heard of Hogwarts Legacy?
He
and
did a little.
Yeah. Yeah. But to be fair, he did preface that with, or not preface, he actually said later, hey, I haven't heard anything, by the way, but just wondering what's happening with that. And maybe I wish he didn't say that because, well, he has legit contacts anyway. But yeah, that got delayed. And I am not surprised whatsoever because we were asked, did you say like this is 100% getting delayed? Because you said it's not, we haven't heard anything. I swear you said that on a show on XNC.
No. I mean,
chat.
I said that. I said Hogwarts Legacy was probably going to make it. They showed 18 minutes of gameplay. They kept putting out promotional tweets. So something must have broke.
That wasn't me.
Which one was I saying wouldn't get delayed?
Yeah, no. You said would get delayed. You definitely said like we haven't heard anything about it. It's going to get delayed, and it got delayed. Oh, come on! I don't know what that is.
I'm trying to think of what's coming out that we haven't heard about. I mean, I know we heard a lot about Hogwarts. I mean, I didn't say a lot about it, but Hargy definitely called it. He's like, I think that's the next one getting delayed, and I swear it was the next morning. If Hargy's in the chat, I'm pretty sure because we were all in a party chat. Like with Dealer and Zocker, and he was like, I don't know, I think that's the next one. And then the next morning, it was on Twitter where he's not. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's just one game. I do not. Well, a delayed game is good if it's delayed or whatever, blah blah blah. But one game that I do not want to get delayed. Well, actually, it's God of War. God of War, please. That needs to. That's my most anticipated game of the year.
That's the one I said today. That's the one I said today. No way that's getting delayed.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I don't think that's getting delayed. But the game that I think could get delayed, and it hurts me to say this, although to be honest, I'll be busy with God of War. What am I talking about? It's a one and done game. I know. Sorcerer Strip. It would be Callisto Protocol. If that Callisto Protocol gets delayed, I will cry real tears. I won't, but still. That's the game I don't want to get. But I think it's too good to be true. Like December 9th or something like that. It's like I don't see that happening. I don't know.
That's kind of what Hogwarts had. They had like I think they had a December window, and then it just went poof.
Yeah,
it went Expectro Patronum or whatever. Target's gonna get so mad at me if I mess that up.
Wingardium Leviosa.
If you're keeping up, I just finally watched the Harry Potter series like a month ago. I've never watched it, never read the books. I couldn't name more than one character before that, but I think I did say that spell correctly. I don't know what spell it does. I think it makes your forehead tall. I don't know. All right. Well,
can't see me because licking a knife on screen. It's a fake knife.
Now that's another thing. That's another thing that's going to make the show better is, while I'm on the show, I don't know if you guys care, but I'm watching the camera so that I'm looking, but I'm also right here on my TV. I've got the show running, but it's like 9 seconds behind. So Gaz could like take his shirt off and put it back on and I might miss it. So please do that. Please do that. So I think Callisto Protocol is probably, a lot of people are saying in the chat, Gotham Knights, but they're really talkative and showative about Gotham Knights. Give me your opinion on that game.
So Gotham Knights, that game has been very divisive amongst our own core friends, and I'm scared to pick a side because everyone in party chat, it gets really heated. I think we should put a poll up of whether
especially
or not
with Dealer and Zocker in the mix. And shout out to Gaming Forte in the chat. I saw you like forever ago, and I want to say hi because he's amazing. Okay. But go ahead,
Cole. I think it'd be really useful for chat to let us know what they think of. Very simple. Gotham Knights. Does it impress you? Yes or no? Does it look impressive to you? Are you looking forward to Gotham Knights? Yes or no? Because I want to. I know that's a bit.
Hold on. Pause. We got a super chat. I got to read. I got to read this. This is from Next Gen 720. He is a longtime friend. Thanks to him, thanks to Zaire, I wouldn't be on podcasts. He was cool enough back in 2017 to invite me to his podcast. And when my channel was first getting moving, he sends a super chat, which is hilarious. This is so him. He says, Next Gen 720 says, Xbox is dog crap. Send me a link if you're not scared. Yeah, you know, he's been covering this stuff. Man, he's the real OG. He is a veteran of the podcast scene. He's like the founding dude when it comes to talking about Xbox and PlayStation. Shout out to him. I have not talked to him forever. We've had our little scuffles on Twitter back and forth, but he's always been pretty cool.
Is he a pony?
Kind of. I mean, he used to be an Xbox fan. He's, loves the PlayStation stuff. So he's, I don't know, he's Zaire. He's a legend. He's a legend. Let me read a couple supers. I want to get to you about Gotham Knights because it's going to fold into the next game I want to talk about. But we got Garuda and Truda with the Australian 5. He says, if the ABK deal, oh my gosh, if the ABK,
oh my god,
if I got a doo-doo in my butt.
I got a doo-doo in my butt.
Oh my gosh. If the Activision Blizzard King deal closes soon and the entire ABK back catalog drops into Game Pass this year, does it turn Xbox 2020 from a big fat L to a W for you?
Well, yeah, right. Okay. Well, yes, it will. And if Mila Kunis suddenly sat on my face, that would make him a massive W for me as well. Come on, bro. Whoever you are, every fan, you just put your hands together and pray that the deal just goes through. Don't forget this year. It's not happening this year. Just pray it goes through. Nothing else, okay?
Garuda, we will get into that talk about 2022 because Gaz is really good for this. He's been reading the documentation. He got out his little feather pen, and we'll talk about that. Micah Ford, welcome to the channel membership or early access. I think maybe he's rejoining because he's got the Ori pick. So anyway, Lost and Forgotten, thank you so much for the 5. Says most games these last few years have been pretty mid. COVID. Yeah, I mean, I think we can say that. COVID has made a lot of game studios, except for some From Software, not going to lie. It's been really tough on them. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could have got into that, how everything's getting delayed except for DLC. Okay, so no, I'm just joking.
Oh, I just got what your comment was. Wow. Someone clipped that. He just called God of War DLC. Someone clipped that at King Thrash or whatever. Just say, listen to what he's saying. How dare.
And they'll edit out right when I said just kidding. I talk to Rand Althor every day, guys, and I said, hey, Rand, I got a tweet for you that'll blow up. He's like, yeah. I go, write this. Right. All games are getting delayed except for DLC. And he goes, Colt. No.
I can hear that. And I literally hear that in Rand's voice.
That's what you got to love about Rand. He's like clean, clear. He doesn't get messy. But all right. So
it's me chilled.
So we were talking about Gotham Knights, and we're kind of like split on it, right? I got to ask. We got to talk about this Forspoken trailer.
Oh, bro! Oh, come on, man!
Now,
it's like
set it up because I don't think everyone saw it, but it did go viral. But can you set it up for the audience, for the people who are listening?
So, what would have been a really good trailer for if you cut out the audio, but the gameplay looked really nice. But for people you may have not, you feel lucky to have dodged this horrendous trailer. Basically, it was just the main protagonist, and really, it was the voice lines, it was the writing, it was disgustingly just so cheesy. It was just yeah, that's what I do now. Or what was it? What was she saying?
Yeah, okay, that's something I do now.
Yeah, okay, that's something I do now. I think my babies. Like a little kid is saying it. What was it? something
A
beast.
little kid.
Yeah, it's
I
just
killed
so
Jack
weird.
Beast.
If I Jack the Beast, I was like, what? That's not the character. That was like someone else is like, some like lone guy, and there's like, yo, oi, Gary, just sort out trailer.
Gary.
Yeah, like I got it.
So
Yeah. I will do it. I will do the trailer. Some Pakistani guy. I'm Pakistani. I can make this joke. He's just sat there in the office. Is like, oh, don't worry, Jenny. I have got this trailer. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, boss. It's going to be fantastic. There it is. He's watched Power Rangers from 1996, and boom, he's just like, hey, here we go. Push it, done. And it was the most cringe thing ever. And it was so bad that the people who made High on Life actually made their own mock trailer just mocking it. It was so funny. So yeah, it was just really bad marketing. But they say there's no such thing as bad marketing, so maybe it might actually help. But yeah.
Well, so basically what happened was they made this trailer. They had the actress who was playing, oh crap, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. The actress playing the main in Forspoken. They had her record like a sizzle trailer where it's like breaking the fourth wall, and she's talking to the audience about how she's in this world in the game. And it's supposed to come off as very funny and witty. And for most people, it came off. The best comment that I saw all over was it sounded like Disney Channel. So there's a lot of people, like one of my mods is like, it's not that bad. And there's a couple people who are used to anime stuff that like, that's nothing. I mean, you think that's corny. But I don't know. I can do
stuff is the Japanese. What I know a lot of like some people who don't watch anime. I watch anime. I know. But yeah, they think it's corny because the jokes don't translate well. But to me, the way the Japanese kind of comedy, it's weird. I can see both sides to it. It's like, but it's different. But this was, and this is brilliant. Scalebound. That is the kind of vibe. I mean, the problem with Scalebound is the protagonist in Forspoken actually was really cool in the early footage that they showed. This guy just seems so plain, man. With the Beats headphones, seems so generic. Whereas with the protagonist,
This is how many years old is this? This is 8 years old, and I never thought this Dante looking guy was cool. So I was on the side, like when they cancel Scalebound, I was like, good. I mean, it looked like it wasn't going to hit. But let me play this really quick. This is I woke up in the morning, saw the Forspoken cringe trailer, and I'm like, I got to make a meme. And this is what I did. I'll play this real quick.
So let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons, and oh yeah, I'm talking to a cop. Yeah, okay, that is something I do now.
That's the highlight.
I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next.
Then it ends like so badly edited. It's like just ends.
Yeah, it's truncated, right? Yeah, it's truncated, and it doesn't like.
The beast.
And then she goes, I'll probably fly next. And then it has this really like spongy, like fizzled out ending. Like when we do
like
production, like you try to end on a high note, right?
At the end, it's like you've just given up crossfade. Yeah, and he's just like, I've done my job, Buster. Oh, sorry. But yeah, it's just like, I'm not a hater, Charlie Huss. It was just terrible. Just like, I woke up in the morning and my buddy, who's a graphic designer, goes, you need to make a source video just on how terrible this is. And I was like, is this legit, or some fanboys just kind of cut because even the audio doesn't make sense. So I put in my source video, and the music that I had in the backing thing made it sound better. It's like, it was really bad. Either way, I think the game's going to be fine, though. The final game's not going to be on that. I really like Forspoken, man. A lot of people say it looks janky in some bits, maybe, but I love traversal in games. I think Forspoken has a lot of potential. If you just cut out the dialogue,
like the super parkour and flying. Yeah,
it looks really nice. It looks really cool. So yeah.
Also, So I didn't know about this until I was starting to dig into this trailer, but the character is from Brooklyn or New York area, and she gets like transported into this fantasy dangerous world. And so it makes sense for her to be like, I'm just a regular, 17 or 18-year-old giral, and I'm stuck
Just
in
a
this
regular,
place.
everyday, normal guy. Who gets that
So-
reference?
No, I wouldn't.
It's amazing. It's an old school guy. But yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's I don't think that's, maybe she talks like that a little bit in the game, but I doubt the fourth wall stuff. I doubt that, but
Maybe
I
not.
don't know.
I think there will be some fourth wall stuff. Tonally, it's just executed badly. I mean, if they even have that same kind of tone throughout the game, that's fine as long as the dialogue isn't thoroughly rubbish. The game looks good. Ultimately, though, my main concern is whether or not the game holds up. And I think Metacritic predictions could be, I would say, in the mid to low 80s. Anything higher would
Sure.
be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the team that made Final Fantasy 15. They're starting their own studio. This is their first game. It's got a lot of things that people love about Final Fantasy, so I'm pretty sure they'll do pretty good. But
Yeah.
it's okay to have a laugh. I mean, this could have been an Xbox trailer, and we'd be, eating that, that dirty, boot for quite a while as well. So
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
to put up with that, right?
Yep.
But Rizka for the Biscuit, who's been channel member for 12 months, says, at this point, from what we've seen in 2022, I don't think any game is safe. He's talking about delays. We haven't seen gameplay for God of War, so it could be delayed, maybe. Well, let's talk about this trailer. Did you get a chance to look at the trailer today for God of War Ragnarok? Brand new trailer.
Nope.
Well,
I'm sorry. Why? What? Why are
I
looking
told
like
you
that?
before the show. I'm like, just click it a couple times and you'll know what I'm talking about.
sorry.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Chat, did you guys get a chance to see the brand new God of War Ragnarok Midgard story trailer?
I'm
wanna
gonna
see
do
it in
it
chat.
now. I'm gonna do
Basically,
it now
they
as you
got-
talk.
Felicia Day, if that's her name,
Felicia
the actress, she does like a little intro, and then the Felicia Day, there we go. She plays the
6
storyteller.
minutes long.
Yeah, a lot of the chat are saying no or it sucks. So it's got a really nice, shot intro with her, and then the rest is all concept.
There's no gameplay
painted
here. I'm
art.
skipping through, and all I'm seeing is little.
It's like
comic
flipping
book.
through a book of paintings that recap what happened in the 2018 God of
Look at
War
it.
game.
Not this. What? No.
So I skipped through and I'm like, this thing has 60,000 likes. I thought maybe it would get hammered for not provide. Like they have tons of gameplay they could show, but
yeah, but
I
you
think
don't have the
game-
dislikes. That's why the YouTube took that out there, because corporate posturing is the reason why they took that out. So
Yeah,
But,
it's more.
I mean,
than
that
Xbox
doesn't
has.
mean anything. Yeah, it's true. I mean, at the same time, I think hold your cards close to the chest. With God of War, I feel like they're going to go big with this one, so don't reveal too much. I think actually, like in retrospect, I think it's good. Like, don't show it too much. I just want to kind of be spoiled and in the spectacle of things. So yeah. Is my
Do you
pint
watch
glass?
gameplay?
It's not plastic; it's glass.
Oh, do you
yeah.
watch gameplay trailers all the way through, or do you watch a little bit and go, okay, that's enough? I want to wait.
As a content creator, you don't have the luxury of turning these off now, I feel.
Yeah.
So you have to watch them through, which sucks.
I'll capture them, but yeah, I don't sit and watch them like with a magnifier because
I
kinda
don't do
wanna
that
get that
and
new
then like
experience.
dissect it. I do. The people will expect you to watch stuff. Otherwise, they're like, well, you don't even make the effort to watch this stuff and you want to talk about it. And you're in a position that you command like so many people watching. Like, shout out to 843 people. Smash that like button. We're going to get into it. Let's talk about which movie is the best movie of all time. Sorry, that's a good job.
Oh man, I mean, when you get somebody like Gaz who can run his own show, it makes it super easy. Thank you for telling people to hit the like button. That's nice of you. I really appreciate that. Let me read a super hit from Red Wolf. Thank you so much for the $20 super. Red Wolf says Batman and DC are my faves, so I'm kind of mixed, but I know I'll play it, meaning Arkham or Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Because of my bias, but I cannot deny it looked very rough in certain parts, which is unfortunately. So hopefully it feels much better than it looks. I think it is going to feel good, but I'm thinking Red Wolf's right. It may not feel amazing, and I think it'll look really, really good. Maybe it won't look amazing. Is that how you're feeling, guys?
I know I'm feeling like a hurt hit the corner of my elbow on the table.
And it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, no. I think the co-op will save it. I feel like it's going to be very by the numbers
That's
kind of
such a
game.
cop out, like Saints Row. The co-op will save it and the sound off.
Yeah, I mean, which is basically saying that on its own, the gameplay mechanics and the story might not be intriguing enough. It just looks really doughy. It looks really like it's not smooth. It's next gen. It's next gen only. It's next gen only. They've gone ahead and they've said that the reason why we've forsaken it because we want to make this truly like unshackled next gen only. It reminds me of last gen, where or a gen before that, where everyone used to make these statements and the game was like, this was possible last gen. Gotham Knights looks squarely last gen with a touch of next gen, like touches up here and there. Gameplay wise, nothing looks next gen. In fact, I was impressed by a DM that you sent me for Nightwing, where you said he's an acrobat.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this game looks really impressive visually. It's Arkham Knight.
It was Arkham Knight.
It was Arkham Knight.
2015 or 2014's Arkham Knight, and it looks.
Bro, it looks better because I was like, oh wow, look at the scale and verticality in this. It looks nice, and the mood and the lighting. It looks better. Like I get it from raw visual fidelity point, maybe not, but the mood, the lighting, everything, the art style, all of it.
I don't think we've seen Gotham Knights properly. I think all of the footage I've seen is at 4K 30, and it'll run at 60 on the Series X and PS5 and probably Series S if they know what they're doing. I got to highlight a comment from the chat. Player One says the dialogue in Gotham Knights is pure cringe too. The latest gameplay had Thug saying, "Ha ha! No one will ever mow you again, grass," as he lights it on fire.
Really?
Yes, I've heard this before.
Okay, well, they got away.
And we already know
that's pretty bad.
We already know Saints Row is going to be really cringy and cheesy,
right?
Saints
Row he's talking about.
I mean, I'm 76 years old and I'm saying the word cringy. There's a problem, right? So I got to ask chat. I've asked on the show before. I'm like, hey, how old are you? And then, Chris Hansen shows up. But are we too old where these new games are just too cheesy for us? Or is there just a little trend of cheese rolling in on new games?
No. I'll tell you what it is. This is gonna make me sound like an old guy, but no, this is different. Every generation, older generations, I've always said, you young people, your culture is terrible, or it's blah 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 blah. But this time we're right. The new gen of kids have absolutely dog comedy. They have no you elitist. It's like no, it's true. Chat, it's true. It's just like they always say bet. I hate the word bet. And this is coming from a guy who abuses the word dank or beast or that sick, which I know it's just, but I use it ironically. But
and I say rad.
It's like rad. Okay, rad was bad. But it's just like, come on, man. This new gen. So with Saints Row, squarely for this new gen. They're literally. The premise of the game is that a bunch of gangsters want to pay off their student loan. What the what a load of nonsense Saints Row was all about. The first Saints Row, you know what you did? The first thing, you got initiated in a gang. A bunch of guys just beat the crap out of you and you had to fight for ages. That was fun. And this one, you had to pay your student loans. So you go on a rampage. What? It's just it's a new gen. And the humor, perhaps we're a bit old, or I just think the comedy is rubbish. I think the new generation, which new age comedian do you think is amazing, or even commands the numbers of audiences like Dave Chappelle, or the classics, Eddie Murphy? No one. There's no one.
Amy Schumer.
Out of here.
I'm just kidding. I was just complaining about how I don't go on a band or a music group's Twitter and say, I really can't stand your song, but people love to come to your channel or your tweets or my tweets say, your videos suck. And I'm like, this is the society we live in where everyone just feels like they could say whatever they want. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me grab another super here. Hargy says, given Xbox luck this year, I think Plague's Tale might be next for a delay. I think he gives Ragnarok a 70% chance that it will release on time. He only feels good about Modern Warfare 2 coming out on time. Hargy probably says that because he knows Call of Duty rarely ever delays their game. But I don't know. I disagree completely with Hargy. I think Plague's Tale's coming on time, October 18th, and I think Ragnarok is coming November 9th.
Plague's Tale might actually. I think Hargy's onto something. I think
He's
that
been
might
right
slip
before.
Up. Yeah, I think it might slip up. I'm with you, Hargy. I think that's a bit quiet on that front. When it's supposed to release?
October 18th. And I asked somebody about this, and they said it's too close for it to not release on time.
Yeah, it is kind of close, but we might be getting an imminent delay. I think it might. I'm with Hargy on this. Hargy, let's be right. If you're wrong, I swear to God, you took me down. I'm with you.
Hargy is rarely wrong, but I disagree with him. But Swindiver says, yes, what Hargy said. He's an insider. Yeah, we love it. Hey, Dave's Angel, welcome. Dave's Angel Gaming Heaven, welcome to Early Access. Yes, as you want a dark pick. If you join the channel, you get custom emojis. I could throw those in the chat. They're goofy, they're fun, but welcome to the channel. You also get early access to videos. I usually make my videos at like 10 o'clock at night, so they're up, that night before they go public. Then you get merch giveaways that I do once a month. So anyway, there's the custom emojis. I probably should make some more. I got like the handsome Craig, and then I got Master Chief, which I need to take him out of there because co-op's still not out. I think
they're too small. I think YouTube are stupid. They're trying to get into the Twitch game, but with the gifting subs and stuff, and they're mishandling it. Those emojis can be way bigger. Then people will pay it. Then if they were a little bit bigger, I would have so many meme faces in there. There would definitely be
only have the sauce logo, so I need to build some custom ones for you. Let's get into the news. Today, Xbox announced absolute defeat against PlayStation. They put their hands up. They told regulators and the globe, guys, that PlayStation has them beat. They'll never sell another console again. It's over. We got beat down in the Xbox One generation. They put up crying emojis all over the legal documents, and they called it quits.
No,
what did you hear? What did you hear today on this?
Oh, so it's quite funny how the two companies are. It's so weird. Well, it's not weird. It's actually so obvious what they're doing, and Sony's like, the deal is too big. It's crazy. These guys are destroying us. The Game Pass is a system we cannot do. Call of Duty is a force. It's an entire gaming category. And Microsoft's like, no. We suck. Sony's gonna beat us. The hardware destroyed us. They're still gonna beat us in the future in this gen, and we're just that. It's actually one of the few times Xbox is grateful they're in like last place. It's just like, we're in last place, but let's ignore the fact that we said the console hardware isn't the metric anymore. It's all about monthly active users and subs. Oh no, what happened there? no, Sony's like, no, look at the sub, look at Game Pass, 60-70% market share. Microsoft's like, no, look at console sales, man, they'll still dominate. And they're so happy that now the Sony stock is increasing. PlayStation sales are increasing massively as well, because that's the reason why, let's be honest, the shortage of Xbox was beating PlayStation because of the shortages. Even now in the UK, I still can't get the PS5. Do you know it's so bad in Japan that they need, if they can only sell PS5s to people who have a PS4 and they've proven ownership. Only then,
really,
and even then you can get in on the bloody list, and you still can't get it. People are so desperate. So it's really funny, this back and forth between the two companies, and there's a lot of it kind of reveals a lot of the facade is crumbling. It goes to show that it's important to both companies. It's obviously important to Microsoft having $70 billion on the but it's really important for Sony as well, because they're the only outlier publisher or platform holder who has spoken out against the deal. Microsoft's trying to downplay it. Sony's trying to upplay it, and it's just like the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I don't know if the Brazilian guys are just probably like the regulators are just loving the source and all this extra attention. But the FTC will be watching as well thoroughly, just to see. They'll be watching. They'll obviously have to contend with their own submissions submitted to them. But it's very interesting. I wouldn't take it at face value, though. And I mean, on both sides, this is coming from me, the source master, but really just genuinely, the truth is, look, Sony is competing. Sony and is threatened by Game Pass, as you would be. Why would they not be? But the backing of a gigantic company like Microsoft, you have every reason to be worried. That's irrespective of the fact that Sony absolutely destroyed Xbox last gen, embarrassed them. Well, more, Xbox embarrassed itself. But Sony, despite all of that massive win, is still concerned because Sony needs PlayStation. That's its baby. That's it. That's the main chunk of the pie. So it has to battle it out.
They're expanding beyond just that console. Like this, the beginning of this topic is really pinned on how Xbox was like you said, they're like, what? I mean, we're not that powerful. I mean, we can't even outsell it. You know, we sold less than half of the PlayStation 4s, you know, or Xbox One console barely even sold. Like, well, I mean, they're the dominant market, right? Like that was their whole
But they have to. They have to say that. It's the clever thing. The main reason the deal will fall through is anti-compete. That's the wording. That's the main word. That's what these regulators are actually employed to do and make that decision on. Is it anti-compete or not? So if you're not market leader, you have a much easier job of saying that. And if you say we barely sold half of that, then why you'd be stupid not to even put that card forward. So of course they're going to do that. The problem is, and Xbox being a bit disingenuous there as well, in my opinion, they're obviously relying on their terrible performance last gen to put this point forward. Obviously, they have to do that. But anyone with this, if any regulators worth their salt really dig in, do the research and see the momentum Xbox is gaining now, and just generally, they'd be like, well, hold on a minute. As far as the where subscriptions are concerned, and Sony have said that you guys dominate by 60-70%. What are your Game Pass numbers versus, you know, PlayStation? And PlayStation's rolled it in together. It actually hasn't helped them because when there was a divide, they could say, hey, look, we only have 3 million. Come on.
Yeah, now we get that.
More, please.
We get that comparison where people say there's this many PS Plus subscribers and only 25 million on Game Pass. It's like now you have that. They kind of got that like little loophole where they can look like they're dominating the Xbox, which is probably not the look they want right now. They want to look like the victim. But how about this, Gaz? I tried to go back and find receipts this morning because that's like another piece of news I woke up to was that Xbox only sold about 58 million or something was the number they're trying to extrapolate from this. Weren't PlayStation guys telling us like a year or two ago that the Xbox only sold 32 million across the entire generation? I
don't remember the number. They were saying 2 to 1. So it was kind of basically Xbox admitting, in my opinion,
they were saying 3 to 1 at one point. Help me out, chat. Do you remember PlayStation fans holding on to this 32 million, which is a number at one point?
I've seen that was 30 million.
Yeah, there was. They're way off. They're way off.
Yeah, but that's Microsoft's fault because Microsoft don't divulge their numbers, so I can't hold that against the ponies. If Microsoft don't actually divulge the numbers, then we have to actually do that. That's Xbox fault.
Astray says that they were saying 40 million. I remember 32 million was a number, and I searched my tweets to see if I was trying to correct people because at one point Phil Spencer said we've surpassed the 360 this many years in, and then when I went and looked at the 360 numbers 4 years in or whatever it was 36 million. So I'm like at 2018 or something they were at 36. I don't know what it was, but it's just one of those things where Xbox had to look super weak, which is what PlayStation did last week, is they had to show their weakness and say, look, we didn't get to talk about this on the show, and I don't want to dive all the way into it. There's a couple things I want to cover before we get into that. Let me hold on to that because there's other news people want to hear. We'll circle back around to that. There is a new game showcase. We'll pull the e-brake. We'll flip the car around and we'll talk about this for a minute, because this was news to you as well. Today, they announced Disney and Marvel is having a game showcase, and I've got
Mhm.
all the juicy details on November 9th, or I'm sorry, September 9th. A Disney plus Marvel game showcase. It says, quote, the digital showcase will feature incredible new content from Disney and Pixar games, Marvel games, Lucasfilm games, which would include Indiana Jones, but I doubt that's showing up, and 20th Century games. In addition to all new announcements, fans can expect new reveals from titles, including, and I'll need your help on these guys, Disney Dreamlight Valley, sounds fantastic, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Lego Star Wars, the Star Wars Skywalker Saga, and a sneak peek at the upcoming Marvelous Ensemble game from Skydance New Media. You looked into
What do
this.
you need my help with?
You
read
knew
those
or
out?
looked into some of this before we were doing the show. You were looking at, excuse me, some of these names, and you were like, "Oh, you named this Overwatch clone or something that you read about."
Oh yeah, one of them was an Overwatch clone. What was it called? So here, I'm looking at the article right now. It's
I
made
got
by-
a doo-doo in
I got a doo-doo in my butt. No, where is the name of this game? It was made by Zynga, of all people.
Mhm.
So they're doing that.
Farmville.
Yeah, which I think sounds like pretty bad.
Oh yeah,
Does
I
that
forgot.
mean
I got a little. While you're reading that, I got a little visual aid to throw onto that while you talk, my bro. I'll be able
Amy
to do some of
Hennings
this.
is writing the Skydance one. Yeah, so Amy can't talk. Amy Hennings game's gonna be in the Star Wars universe, but entirely brand new, right? Chat, forgive me if I'm wrong on that. So there's that. I don't think we're gonna get Jedi Survivor, which is the main.
Yeah, you
one.
looked that
Well,
up, right?
Yeah, I mean that's not coming. Well, apparently it's not. That's the only one I actually really care about. Midnight Suns is like, Zorka's like excited about it, but I'm not.
Same.
What are you
yeah.
playing right now?
This is the little trailer they put out, a 17-second trailer.
There's nothing that looks nice.
I'm gonna
to
repeat
me,
for 3
but-
seconds or 17 seconds.
Well,
So you
that's
see like the Avatar game. I don't know what that is. You got Skywalker Saga already out.
Alien?
You got some, I don't know, maybe
I saw
aliens.
Oh, there's a xenomorph. Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey man, an extra showcase that came out of nowhere. It's quite interesting. The Disney and Marvel are doing their own video game showcase. That's quite interesting as well. That they're doing that. I find that quite interesting. I think Xbox and Sony and Nintendo are in an incredible position as far as entertainment is concerned, and this foray into the metaverse. I think everyone else is playing catch up, and yeah. This is it. It's gonna be all neon lights and steam coming out of grapes, and it's gonna be nice, like Blade Runner, dystopian future. We're here already.
Disney isn't going to have their own gaming subscription service, are they? This is just their contribution into the mainstream game circuit, right?
That's how you work your way in. If you're going to do that long term, right now things have come to a fray. You have to kind of dip in a little bit with the games until your properties are worth so much that then perhaps you can entertain the notion of streaming or piggyback of another service. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, guess people were like sharing this out and really excited, and I'm like, well, I don't really know what's going to be, revolutionary or a big revelation of excitement for me from this list. I don't know why they're showing Skywalker Saga. The game's been out like 5-6 months.
J-Rock's high off the sauce.
What'd he say? He said that
he's high on the sauce. Yeah.
Yes. J-Rock's awesome. Him and his community game night. That's spectacular. I need to get in there, but
I know it's so late.
Yeah, they have it on my family night, so I usually end up missing it. But Marvel games, I guess Avatar was another game that was supposed to come out. So you got the Ubisoft game in there as well. If that's the same one that is licensed through Disney and all that stuff. So the next thing is Gamescom, and I'll go back to this other. I'll go up to this other layout, and forgive me for not being able to do this stuff like in real time, but we'll do what we can. So this is
this game High Life.
High on Life is going to have its own new trailer or new maybe a gameplay trailer, and there's quite a bit of gameplay in here, guys. I don't know how many times you watched this, but
I've
I've only
a few times, but it still looks amazing every time.
So
It
you
looks-
were singing "I got a doo in my," which is from Rick and Morty, which is the spiritual, amalgamation of.
I mean, even though the voices, they got more East voice. They always do this in these games. If you've played the VR game, forgot the name now. It's so
Trover Saves the
funny.
Universe.
Trover Saves the Universe in
Yeah.
VR. I was creasing. I was just laughing my ass off as I'm playing this game in the bloody headset on in this weird, wacky universe. But this game looks so. I love the eyeball. Like, that is just genius.
Yeah, whenever I see the stabby stab guy, I always think of you. I don't know why. That knife is so Gaz in video game form. Yeah.
No, this looks like it's really good. I hope it's well, my main concern with High on Life is that it may not have that much enemy variety. What they've shown so far in this trailer is a lot of what they have to hand. So I don't know how long the game is or how big it is, but really the game just looks impressive. I hope it's something they've been working on for a while, because Trover Saves the Universe, that was a very brief game. It's just amazing. You didn't want it to end. When it ended, just like, oh, that's it. Kind of showed all what it was like about. But the game has eking character. This could be amazing, and it's on Game Pass. Which is still like
right now. This is the most promising exclusive for Xbox this year. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I put this over Scorn.
That's not exclusive. No.
What? No, for Xbox exclusive, this is the only promising, I think, the best offering they have this year, which is weird because you got this weird, goofy, funny, wacky game is going to be like their tentpole, exclusive for the year. But hey, I guess I'm not going to complain. So it looks fun.
Look at the visuals. They look really good. Like good to a point where I'm like, how's this gonna scale? It's gonna look pretty bad on old gen consoles. That's how nice it looks. So, what's this other game that you've got? This guy's stumbling around.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to that next. I'm just kind of changing this in real time. And when I move X and C, you won't see this happen. But when I move X and C into the new program, footage like this will be twice as clear, and it'll run at 60. The program I'm using is kind of choked down. So I want you guys to be able to see the stuff that Gaz and I are talking about on the show. And Asa and him do an amazing job on their show, being able to put stuff on the fly. And I want to be able to do that because people like to have some decent production, and you guys deserve it. So shout out. Let me move. Let's see.
A lot of work, but it'll be worth it. It's going to be the whole, like, the stream quality is going to be insane. It's not comparable to this.
Yeah, I mean, over on our tab, we can see it nicely, but it just doesn't come across as nice on YouTube. Let me read.
It's actually not so bad. The way this game looks visually just doesn't obviously they get a lot of it's low bit rate there, but yeah, that's good. What is this next game? Is it Plague's Tale?
Nope. No, I'll get to it in a second. Sleeping Vicious with an Australian $5. Thank you, Sleeping. Says congrats on the new sponsor. It's brilliant. Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago I did a sponsorship with Brilliant, and they let you do quizzes and self-train yourself on getting smarter. He says a sponsor of that caliber means you're being noticed and are going places. I don't know where I'm going, but we're going to go on vacation here this week. So I'll be gone for most of the week, starting on Wednesday. So I don't know if I'll have new content out, but thank you, Sweeping. Yudona Kizada puts down 1,000 Apex coins. In the chat, he put a code. Gaz probably grabbed them so he can buy a feathery hat for his character.
Wow.
Shout out to Yudoni. Hargy Johnny with the $5. What are you going to do, Gaz? What are you going to do?
Bro, at this point, I don't buy any more Apex stuff. It was not even worth it past the £100 I spent, let alone. I was trying to get an heirloom. That's every time just get a rare heirloom. They're so bad with the drop rates. Not even just the heirlooms, just terrible monetization. So if you guys want to come at me and say, Gaz, you're an idiot, you have every right to do so, because I regret it so. But that's a holiday. I spent over $1,000 on microtransactions to get an heirloom. I could go on a holiday. That money's terrible on a game where you don't even get to see your own characters. A bloody first-person game. I've got
how much did you spend?
Over £1,000.
We're gonna talk after the show. Yes, I know. Okay. I have. I know. I still have this video paused. I'll get to it in just a second. Instead of changing the layout, but where was I? Oh, Hargy Johnny, thank you with the $5. He says, with the sales numbers confirmed for Xbox One, they had 30%. PS4 had 70% of the market. For AAA games on console, PlayStation is officially a monopoly. Xbox was only competitive in North America. And he says US, Canada. Absolutely. That was funny because Hargy knows this. And I got in so many weird arguments that if you look at in the North America, like it was almost even. Like I think they were only down by 2 million compared to PlayStation. But the rest of the world loved the PlayStation 4. And the entire world was told, Gaz, don't buy an Xbox One. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Dave Angels Gaming Heaven, thank you for the £5 super, says, I think part of the shortages are actually down to Sony trying to use some of Gaz's sauce to create a fever to buy the consoles when they release them. All right, let's show this next. This Gamescom is coming up on I think it's darn it. I had the date in my head, but I think it's like the last week.
24th of August, I think.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
I think so.
Xbox has partnered and marketing with this multi-plat game that looks freaking awesome. If you like Elden Ring, here is it playing? Why isn't it playing? Play. I'm actually hitting play and it's not going.
Shout out to the 900 people.
Oh,
920 people watching.
Yeah, shout out. Hit the like button. We should have 500 likes here if you're having a good time. But I've got special like button. Here it is. Here it is. We've got.
I haven't liked it myself.
Live. This is I can't say it out loud. It sounds dumb, but I will. This game is called Lies of P. But Lies of the letter P, and you'll see a great logo design.
Lies of P. Lies of urine.
So what you have is an industrial era, I think it's 12th century Dark Souls game where you play as a guy who is being attacked by Tinker Toy dolls, like evil come to life wind-up dolls or something. You'll see it here in a second. Justy Spuds to so Bloodborne 2. I'm like, well, it takes a minute for the trailer to get rolling.
Life of urine. It looks whoa.
Yeah,
this looks amazing visually.
Look at this game.
Oh, I'm gonna go to. I saw this on Twitter. It was a slightly bad quality, but this looks visually impressive. How is this a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, though? That was Lovecraftian. I think anytime someone sees a little bit darker Soulsborne game, they're like, spiritual successor. No, it's not.
Sean LeBrie says, you're Geppetto. It's a gothic retelling of Pinocchio for real? Oh, my gosh. I used this footage when I was talking about Compulsion's next game because I didn't have anything that shows it. And then Xbox is partnering to push the game. And sorry about the quality on YouTube, guys. I would really recommend you go check this out. That's what I'm Pinocchio.
Jim Ryan got his own game.
Texas says Pinocchio born. So what you're looking at is a 30 frames render of that. I'm going to rewind it. Look at that logo. It's beautiful. I love that logo as a designer.
Logo. Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm going to play it one more time, but Xbox is marketing for this. So it's not coming to Game Pass. It's not exclusive. They're just going to, make a few bucks off it. I don't know. But there it goes. Not playing again. Yeah, that's just great. Here we go. There we go. And play. So, we'll get into that. But that's a cool looking game that is coming very soon. Let me get the date for you.
Yeah, who are the developers behind that?
I'm going to get you all that stuff right now. It is NeoWiz Games as a publisher. It is developed by, and I don't know if anybody knows who these people are, Round 8 Studio is the developers. And it's a multi-platform game, and the release is set for, I don't know. They don't say.
This could be a surprise little saucy game because the game's premise, like Pinocchio in this weird time, is really interesting. Visually looks impressive. Is it next gen only or cross-gen?
Yeah. They said that it could come out in 22, but expect it in 23. So, True 77 in the chat just said something that I have to say out loud. True 77 said, might be going to PAX West next year. Have you gone? I plan on going this year for the first time. It's in Seattle. I live in Washington State. So I plan on going, probably go to the first day, which is on Friday. And if anybody is planning on going, send me a DM on Twitter or wherever and let me know. Maybe I'll get to meet somebody. Be really great. But yeah, this game looks so cool.
Game looks amazing. Also, the gameplay mechanics are really cool, where you pull that enemy in, and this like that toy kind of enemy was. Oh, he just wow, that looks nice. So if you notice some of the combat cues there, like you bright red, as I don't know whether that's a crit or I don't know what that is, but
yeah,
it just looks really
unblockable attack maybe.
Nah,
I mean, it really is. It just like a Souls game? Because I don't know the games that well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's just like you can tell just the way the gameplay is. It's a Soulsborne game at heart. There's so many of them now, but this game, there's a lot of them. It's quite interesting that how similar they are, but that thematically they're so wild. Because like you've got this, then there was another one that released that was futuristic, like when it came out. I forgot the name of it, chat. If you remember, it's like in the space.
Yeah. They had two of them. They had two of them.
Yeah, there are two of them.
Oh my gosh!
So gonna annoy me now. Chat.
I played one of them. What was that game where you have like the mech arms and you have heavy attack?
The Surge. Thank you.
The Surge.
Yeah. The Surge, nice. And then you've got Black Myth Wukong, which we haven't seen a lot of, but that's like completely different. That's a Chinese outfit doing it. It's like it's so nice. That's my top actually of all of them. I hope you get that because that looks fully next gen. But yeah, they're so wild. Even though the Soulsborne formula is going to be, Elden Ring has pushed it to the stratosphere to everyone now. So like they're gonna because there was a point where people were thinking, oh, it's too much Soulsborne. Nope, Elden Ring just changed that. Just opened the eyes up to so many casuals. I've got paralegal at work. He's like so casual as F, and he's played Elden Ring, and he's still playing it. I'm like, wow, you're playing that? He goes, yeah, man. Someone talked about it. There's like so much hype about it, and I'm addicted to that game. So yeah, the games like that could do really well. Life of Jim Ryan.
It's funny. There's always a couple of really great exclusives, and then the multiplats are so awesome. There's so much to look forward to. Like that Liza P is like on your radar now, and Callisto Protocol was something you didn't know about 6 months ago.
Yeah,
or whatever it's been. Like stuff's coming in hot. I get to experience Dead Space truly for the first time because I haven't really played it like for real. Really? So yeah, I only played an hour or so on the 360, and I'm like, I'm scared.
So lucky. Hopefully they keep the.
I'm in the moment. Shout out to Kid Smooth who's in the chat. He says, looks like Steel Rising, which comes out next month. There's another great game. There's a bunch of stuff coming. We got Joe Williams with the Australian 5. He says, recovering from a ruptured appendix. I hear that is extremely painful. Like you want to die, but
really? Oh,
man,
wow.
Glad you're doing better. He said, I finally get to see you guys live. Love the work and love every video you two put up. I think it's about time you and I collaborated outside of me being Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
We need to do some stuff together. That would be very cool. Let's see. So Gamescom is not going to be a big event for Xbox or really anybody else, but I think Jeff Keighley's got his hands into like the opening night live thing where he'll try and get everyone like, pulled in for an hour plus an extra hour of fluff. And I enjoy his shows.
Have they confirmed that it's going to be the same stuff we've seen before? Or that there's no chance of new stuff?
Yeah, let me grab the... I thought I was going to make a video on this, and then it just kind of... It's so close. Let me grab it. It is right here. Xbox said... oh, gosh, get this link out of my way. Let me find the good part. They said they're going to do a booth at Gamescom. We're pleased to announce the return of FanFest to the show floor. So if you live in Germany and you're going in Cologne, you can attend a FanFest and they'll probably have a cool shirt. And that's fantastic. If you live in Germany or you're close in Europe, try and go. It's so cool.
I would have been
They said
yeah.
They will feature 36 stations with a fantastic lineup of content coming to Xbox in the next 12 months, many of which will arrive on Game Pass day one. They will be
Yeah,
celebrating
continue.
some of their third-party partners with playable titles on the booth, including, this doesn't help us, but if you're in Germany, you get to play A Plague's Tale Requiem, Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I don't know what that is yet, Gunfire Reborn, Incolantani, Last Case of Benedict Fox, which is like a
That looks good.
what do you call that? It's like Ori and
Indie kind of Ori kind of game, yeah.
Liza P, which we just saw, which you'll get to play that, apparently, playable titles in the booth. So Liza P must be really close to be ready if they have a playable build for fans to just grab a controller.
Mhm.
So Lightyear Frontier, which is like a building mech game. Planet of Lana, which is a side-scrolling indie. You Suck at Parking by Happy Volcano. And that's pretty much it. They said they're just going to cover the next 12 months of Xbox, which I think they mean 12 months from E3 era, not that, not whatever pushes beyond July of this past year, right? So anyway.
I mean, you're going to be, if you've been to Gamescom before, when there was 330,000 people, fine, you might not get same number of people. Yep. Over 330,000 people. I loved it. I loved it. But that was just before the release of next-gen consoles. And it was amazing. Like, German people, very beautiful. like, okay, this can make me sound like such a
good-looking Germans are good-looking people.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is gonna make you sound, people are gonna hate me for saying this, but look, gamers, man, if you've been to convention shows, why am I apologizing? I'm not gonna apologize for this. It's so stupid.
Do some sit-ups. No, I'm just kidding.
Not just that, the fact that they're unhealthy, which they are. In the UK, horrible. Okay, actually, I'm talking to the kings here. The US, yeah. I don't know, man. Well, yeah, definitely. Well, I've never been to the US show, but in the UK, there's a lot of. What can I tell? Look at me. I got like 6 chins right now. I'm trying to lose weight, but. It's not just the weight problem, like people are overweight. It's the hygiene problem, man. Every show I go to, I just find it so disgusting that the hygiene is so bad in the UK. But when I went to Germany, not only were they really looked after themselves, the cosplay was insane. The people were took care of their health. And it was just genuinely amazing. And there was 330,000 people there. And I was just like, I was doing this for Game On Daily when we were just a blog site. And I was just like, I was there and I was like, oh, this is going to be just a complete musky nerd smell fest. I hate bad smells. Even in my studio with all my sweaty things, I all smell dank. I buy the dank. This thing costs as much as the Xbox Series S. Ex nihilo. It's beautiful. Take care of yourselves, people. Your hygiene is important. That sounds so condescending. I'm such a dick. No, sorry,
I take a bottle of Febreze every other day, and I spray my body down with Febreze. I smell fantastic.
Look, it's just like, oh yeah, I don't know what. This is what happens when you have ADHD, man. I don't know what I was talking about.
Jess Corden of Windows Central lives in Germany, so he gets to enjoy the great sights and smells of Gamescom. And I think Paris Lily was like, "Oh, I wonder if I should." I think he posted on Twitter, "I was thinking about going to Gamescom in Germany," and I looked at the plane tickets. I'm like, "Nope, I'm out."
Oh yeah, so that's basically Paris Lily saying, "Oh, I would go unless someone, hey Emirates Airlines, do you want to send me a ticket?"
Yes,
he does it all the time, Paris. He says it himself. He's a cheapskate. He does it so many times, Paris. I swear to God, if I saw you at E3, which I will next year, I'm like, Paris, don't do that. It just
what about
makes
special
me
Nick and what about special myself. Nick in the chat?
That sounds weird.
What about special Nick in the chat? You think anybody's going to send him free plane tickets to Gamescom this year?
Yeah, if any of his wrong predictions turn out to be have monetary value, here's what it's $1 for a wrong prediction. He would have 1,000 first class tickets. I'm just kidding, special Nick.
Yes, Nick's our boy, man.
I know,
we
love
having
Nick. Fun with him. Nick can handle the joke, mate. Yeah, you can, right? I like Nick.
He put me in a headlock, man. It wasn't nice, man.
Who, Paris Lily?
No, Nick.
Nick,
he could destroy me.
Nick can't destroy. Nick's like,
Nick's too nice.
How tall are you, Nick? Is he a tall guy? I don't know.
I don't know.
He's
He's in Australia. He's gonna tell me how tall he is in centimeters, and I'll have to do a conversion. I don't know what it is. Over here, we don't use a metric system. Hargy Chani dropped a Game Pass Ultimate 3-month code. So make it happen. Get yourself high on life. Oh, I was going to say about that game. Paris.
I just like to call him out all the time.
Yeah. In fact, I want to get Paris. Will get on the show with us soon. I think I'm going to ask him, see if he wants to do the show.
Okay.
Hargy, 5'7"? Oh, 5'11" he is.
Yeah. But he said average height, which is 5'7".
Special Nick is 5'11" when he's on his tippy toes and he hasn't clipped his toenails. So we got it. Hey, Hargy Chani. No, I'm just kidding. Hargy Chani says, get that gold suit and Halo with 2,200 credits. I'd have to reinstall Halo to grab that, but thank you. Hargy
get that gold suit and Halo. Wow. 2,200 credits is quite decent as well.
I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you guys, and this could get messy. Chat, are you ready to get messy? Hit the like button if you're ready to get messy. We're going to get in the next topic, which is
Let's get messy.
PlayStation has shown, and they've proven that they are following Xbox. They're following Xbox's moves in mostly almost all of the ways of the market, in the modern market as it stands. This is not my opinion. This is a collective observation of what has been going on the past 3 years since Sean Layden left. Mm-hmm. Gaz, I want to ask you if this is a fallacy. Is it true that Xbox is being followed by PlayStation in the platform market?
Sorry, I was looking at chat. I just did a special Nick all over again. You know, well, when I was with special Nick. Sorry, apologies. 5'7" is average.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Yes.
Look at Nick. He's a terrible influence every time he's around and chat. So what do you say? Xbox has no games? Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I can't have special Nick around because you don't pay attention because you like him more than me.
Oh.
Nick says Gaz freaking zoned out again. Laugh out loud. Now I don't remember what I asked. Is PlayStation following Xbox this generation?
Yes.
Now,
okay. Well, is PlayStation?
People could take that comment
wrong. Is PlayStation following Xbox? PlayStation
following their footsteps.
Why wouldn't they? They are, in my opinion, and this actually came out today's statements. Actually, and Microsoft said that they were trying to scupper a innovative service, Game Pass, because they couldn't actually match that innovation that would really add value to gamers. PlayStation can't do that. PlayStation is buying time. In my opinion, PlayStation is desperately buying time to mobilize. It can't do day and date. It can't do whatever the hell Xbox is doing. So, because they don't have the capital reserves. They haven't got that money. You just haven't got enough money to take the capital hit. That's why this.
What to take? What capital hit? The loss in sales because people went to subscription.
Bro, when the Sony say they can't take the hit, I do believe them, but they need to take time for these multi-platform releases to garner them money. Because now, if you're Sony, you have to. This is the time they've just spent $3.3 billion on Bungie. They have to buy more. They have to buy more at a time where now everyone's up for sale. You're never going to get a moment like this again. They spent $3.3 billion just to get a studio to get multiplayer games because they left that for ages. Another reason how they're copying Microsoft, because they thought they had an easy ride. They misread the market completely by relying so heavily on single player games. They didn't actually foresee where live services was going. But all of a sudden it's come to the point where The Last of Us 2 only sells 10 million. And I mean, that's not that much considering how much Sony had sold. That's pretty terrible. So they really need to. So they can't do it, man. I 100% agree. Like, I don't agree with the notion that our gameplay would suffer, but they have to use that capital somehow. They can't aggressively expand, which they have. They bought loads of studios. Then they bought Bungie at 3.3. That's a big get. And they're mobilizing their legal team to buy something else. They've actually mobilized a legal team for the onward one, not for the past, not to get anything through. That means brace yourself, people. a big acquisition is coming from Sony. That's what it says to me. That either a multitude of acquisitions or a very big one is coming from PlayStation, because they're doing that. They're openly admitted that that's what they're doing. They're gearing up. How can you do all of that in this transition period and then have completely change your gameplay, your business model, where you heavily relied on full price games to the point where you actually increased the price of full price games to $70? They're trying to squeeze as much as they can out of this model, which is outdated. They know it's outdated. The $70 thing is outdated. Let's just squeeze the juice out of it. Buy some time.
Outdated isn't the right word. It's like, unfortunately it's the inevitable future. But let me bring Seabach in the chat into the conversation, because he or she brings something kind of interesting into the conversation, because you said they were banking on AAA single player games, which are really great and everyone talks about them, and Xbox rarely gets a great adventure single player AAA game because they didn't have studios. But he says, but yet Microsoft players are craving for good single player games. Now, Seabach, the problem with that was Gaz and Sony and the industry and the media are all trying to tell you right now is that, like what Gaz said, they invested in these big expensive AAA single player games, and they sold them for $70, and they didn't meet sales projections. Now, some of them they did, like Spider-Man and God of War did really, really well. But for every Spider-Man game, they put out 4 or 5 games that didn't make enough on return on investment. Now, Seabach, if they put their games day and date on PC, I think that they could go ahead and
absolutely
they could go ahead and go into a service. They can still sell the game for $70. They can still make the money off of subscription services, because a residual revenue, reoccurring stream every month of money from a lot of people who subscribe, plus all the sales they would get day and date on PC, I think would sustain them. But PlayStation does not believe that I am right in any way, shape, or form. So
I don't think that's true. I think they know it.
Hold on. I got to give Seabach props, because yes, Xbox has not provided a single player, big budget game that we are starving for. We want those games. The problem is we want those and we're going to get them. They have a half a dozen in the works coming next year and the year after that. Right. So that's like like that Avowed.
Single player games. Sorry.
Yeah. Avowed, Hellblade. Right. You've got all these games that they're working on from their studios that are coming. Right. But here's the problem. Like, those are things that PlayStation and Xbox are saying, we know 5 to 10% of our fans want those games, but we're making so much money on something like Minecraft or something like even Sea of Thieves. We're making so much money that we'll provide those as a fan service, and they'll do well. We'll make a lot of money. But the bread and butter is in where people get online and they play and they're hooked and they love it, and their friends join in online, and all this stuff is just coming and going like this perpetual motion. This is where PlayStation is following Xbox's footsteps, guys.
100%. They're willing to work on 10 live service games, knowing that most of them won't hit, and just the one will do it, because that one will be transformative. Look at Epic and Fortnite. Just completely changed the company's fate. That's how big it was. And they're absolutely right to do it. But it was obviously killed the pony narrative. Like they mocked multiplayer so much that they hated on multiplayer. Don't even pretend. And all these people play COD. It's so fun. That's why I'm... Literally, Phil Spencer. Do you know how much I talked about this before? Phil Spencer got so much heat for saying exactly what happened. Revelatory. We said it. Those games don't sell. Those single player, like you'll get 1 or 2, like your God of War. But even The Last of Us 2 wasn't that game. That's disgraceful for Sony, or the narrative of ponies they were peddling. And now Jim Ryan saying, so fanboys get mad at us. They're like, obviously I make the source video for fun, but they just get mad at us saying, oh, you're trying to say, how are they copying it? I'm like, what do you mean? Literally have the guy telling you that we are going to do this. This is where it is. PlayStation is not enough. We're going to do live service games. just not enough. Like, literally, what more do you want from them? They are 100% copying Microsoft's formula. Microsoft was doing this for ages, whether or not it's intentional or they're just a bout of good luck because they've had a history and a legacy and just something in their DNA that was always multiplayer centric, whatever. There's loads of things to it, but ultimately Microsoft's strategy, or it was positioned better. Now Sony bought Bungie for 3.3 billion. That should be your answer right there. They were desperate. That's a
and what are the 10
move.
What are the 10 games they're going to make over the next 4 years or whatever?
Yeah, well, I mean, what? They're all multi-plat because they also need the money as well. They are gearing up.
They're making the
business.
games as a service games, right? They said that they're going to, because PlayStation has. I get so much flack when I say this. I say it the same way every time, so it should be fine. PlayStation excels at the single player big blockbuster game, right?
Yeah.
And they've done really well with that, but they kind of only excel in that one location. They're one of the premier places to play AAA JRPGs. A lot of them don't come to Xbox. And then they've got that single player blockbuster. They nail that, but we've looked at the numbers. The single player blockbusters reach 10 to 20% at the most of their install base. And so that's why Sean Layden and Jim Ryan both said it's not enough. It's not sustainable. You know, it's a really big, risky, and I don't know what words they used a couple years ago, but they're basically saying it's a risky investment to make those big, expensive games. And you only sell to, 10 to 12% or whatever the number is for Last of Us 2 to your install base. They had 15 studios work on that game. So now PlayStation realizes, look at what Xbox is doing. They are selling all these multi-plat games. They're selling their games on PC day and date. Their service is really alluring because all their games on there are day one. And Xbox has these games that you can play over and over. They get weekly updates. You play online. Like, look at Forza Horizon 5 and Sea of Thieves, and Halo Infinite. You could say Sea of Thieves and Halo Infinite are a total fail, right? But they've reached 20 million players, right? Ton of people playing those games, and they're making a lot of money. So
Sea of Thieves is not a failure by any means. Halo Infinite is failing in the quality standard, but there's obviously a 10-year journey.
Halo Infinite should be way up. Yeah,
it should be way up. It's not that we've talked about it ad nauseum, but ultimately the upward ceiling and potential for Halo Infinite drops a campaign trailer for the next chunk of campaign, which please be good.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hire someone, hire me. But that will come in massive numbers again. There's so much recurring revenue and potential there. Why would you not do it? Sony is copying Microsoft. Just accept the fact.
Now,
because you in the narrative was that against live service, against multiplayer. Now they're just buying time. It's a very tricky position for PlayStation, by the way. It's make or break this gen. Every gen is the same, but this one is really make or break. When Satya Nadella put his foot down, it scared. The fear of God literally got instilled in PlayStation because they were like, yo, that's it. Microsoft are fully in. The sheer scale of 70. I've said this before, but people don't understand. The ponies need to reconcile this. Microsoft, the biggest, richest, one of the wealthiest companies in the world, has never in its history spent remotely this much money on anything. It did it on Xbox and gaming. And we're still crying about more acquisitions. Like,
read what Nick said in the chat. He's got a nice little.
Yes, been saying this on our show for. Stop saying. I said this last week. Peace up. Always does that. Well, I said, been saying this on our show for months and months. Jim wants to change, but has to do it. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I feel a bit guilty.
You're such a jerk to Nick.
Bro, it's just the dynamic. He understands. But no, absolutely. Jim wants to change.
No, he's
literally,
right.
Jim has been asking. He said it. It came out of his mouth.
Well, can you elaborate on what Nick said? Because Nick said this on his show. I've been on his show when they're talking about it, and I totally agree with it. That's why I wanted you to read it, because he's so right. And there's this narrative, like you talk about the pony narrative, right? Guys, you're talking about how people say, PlayStation doesn't need to do games as a service. They're doing 10 of them. PlayStation doesn't need to go, do this live thing. They're doing it. PlayStation doesn't need to do subscription service. They triple down on it. PlayStation doesn't need to go to PC. They're putting their best games on PC, right? And I think their games will be on PC sooner, but the studios have to take more time. They have to make game time out of it, or Nixus has to do it all. So that's why it's taking a while. But
this all Microsoft can chill, man. They can't chill, but at the same time, Sony have to work. It's make or break for Sony, in my opinion. It's make or break. They have market dominance. They have a worldwide appeal. The brand is there, but none of that secures their future. Because ultimately, the gaming landscape, whether you like it or not, even the most hardcore ponies know it. That's why they hijack the forever physical hashtag, because they know you can't reconcile. You can't reconcile
80% digital.
this. Yep, 80% digital sales on PlayStation. So shut your mouth. It's hashtag forever digital. I'm sorry.
I also love how every time you buy a game, you are super lucky if the whole game would actually fit on the disc. So you got to connect and download the rest of the game. Yeah. Nick says it's not just that, Colt. Jim has to push against Japan as well as their hardcore fans crying over change. That is almost a whole topic there, because there is this discussion about how the PlayStation leadership in Japan says, no, this
the leadership
is how you do
in Japan. Okay.
Is this true?
Like, by that. We don't know. I don't know. That's conjecture. Like, really, the conjecture. It is conjecture, because we ultimately don't understand what the attitudes are. A lot of people have this impression that, because it's a Japanese company, they're very insular in that, and they don't let any what's that word they use? Gaijin. I think gaijin is a term of derision, actually.
Zeitgeist or whatever. Zeitgeist.
I
always hear that word.
Zeitgeist?
Didn't they push Sean Layden out because Sean Layden was like, you're not a walled garden. We want to go multi-platform. They brought in Jim Ryan, who was like, gonna, follow the worldwide PlayStation ideal, like for business model.
No, I think
Jim is slowly trying to warm them up to like, look, I feel like, you make fun of Nick. I'll be super egotistical, more than Nick could ever dream. Nick's amazing. But let me say this.
Oh no.
I think here, if you want to record and expose me, here's your time. I think Jim is telling leadership, trust me, you get a residual revenue stream in from subscription service. We've got 50 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. If you put all of our brand new games day and date at the toppest tier at the $18 a month, we will make up that difference that you're worried about. And if you're worried about that, Jim would say, get the games ready. Tell the studios to make the PC version, and when they're ready to release Wolverine, or they're ready to release Naughty Dog's next sci-fi adventure, I think what they're going to make, get it ready for PC, release it on PC day and date, make money on sales, PC, and subscription. Everything's going to go just fine. I think maybe that's what he's trying to tell them, because he's probably trying to tell the world and their fans, this is the future of gaming. Play wherever you want. If you want to be on PC, or if you don't want to pay $70, you want to pay for subscription and just get as many games you can. Because when you pay for a subscription, guys, you're paying a lot of money. You're paying
recurring over periods of time. Yeah.
And it's always there. And anyone could tell you a revenue stream that's always coming in is going to be the best bet. Anybody who's tried to sell product, if people sign up for the subscription to get their toothpaste over and over, it's a guaranteed money. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great point there. You can't plot sporadic sales, or you can account for them. But if you have a recurring revenue stream, you can plan more. You've got a certainty there that, like, we've got this number of subscribers, that's more revenue, that's more time, that's something that's definitive, that has a lot more value than a complete unknown. If The Last of Us 2 can be a complete unknown and have comparatively horrendous sales compared to his first game, then nothing's a safe bet. That's why everything is gearing up to sub-services. It's much more safer, ultimately more sustainable. Whether or not Jim Ryan is actually at loggerheads with Japanese execs at PlayStation, I don't know. I don't underestimate the intelligence of these corporate leaders. I mean, first of all, a lot of people, and I did my earlier point where I've seen this comment a lot where they say, Sony being a Japanese company, they're very like averse. They any outsiders in there, they'll be very rigid in their thinking. And I'm thinking, no, Mike Cerny literally devised their bloody console. And Jim Ryan is there really paving the future. I mean, really, does that make sense to you?
I agree.
And I think that's nonsense. But I will also say Sony are racking their brains into what Sony don't want to do is lose the value proposition and the image of Sony as this top quality game. Like, even though AAA single player games may not always sell that much, they are what defines PlayStation. They define quality. It's why Xbox fans are so desperate for a single player game of that quality, because it sends out a signal to the masses that the quality association is there. Despite the fact that PlayStation's 90% of their players are fully casual. Every PlayStation friend I have plays COD or just plays FIFA, like here in the UK. They don't even know it, but they know, like, the quality mark is there. So Sony is held on tightly, squeezing the juice out of this 70 full price game as it gears up for the future. That's why the $3.3 billion Bungie thing, because it has to. It's completely neglected multiplayer. It tried a little bit with early PlayStation 3. With PlayStation 3, they had some attempts. They had Killzone 2 that seemed to have done well, but they didn't support it as aggressively as Halo. And then obviously it never even held a candle to Halo 3, let's be honest. Or Warhawk, do you remember that? SOCOM, they never really explained. If it was Xbox, they would have rinsed out SOCOM. PlayStation let that by the wayside. All of that will probably come back now, but they neglected that last gen. MAG, good one, chat. MAG. So SOCOM and MAG, like those games, like even Resistance, which I thought was nothing close to Halo, obviously, but still, they literally just focused on single player games. In my opinion, much easier to create than good multiplayer games that stand out from the saturated market, in my opinion. And so that's what it is. To me, they are copying Microsoft. I think you're going to be hard pressed to argue otherwise. Microsoft is also trying to copy Sony because they try to mimic their quality. Because I'm sorry, Publisher of the Year last year, I watched. Did you watch Jeff Grubb go after this this Twitter warrior? He's
what, on Twitter or
Xbox
on his
University
channel?
Or something? Oh my!
You mean
God,
David Jaffe?
David Jaffe, sorry.
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah,
I always get confused with Jeff Grubb and David Jaffe. I did that once on live. David Jaffe and that university guy. And David Jaffe was trying to explain to him, look, you can cry about the Publisher of the Year award, but ultimately a lot of those games actually haven't even come out yet on Xbox. But Flight Sim, yes, fine, it sells a lot on cloud, but what does that do for the brand image? So Microsoft needs to fix up there as well. But sorry, I've gone on a tangent there. But Sony are copying Microsoft. Microsoft has a lot more money. I don't envy Sony. Their battle is very uphill because Microsoft can throw money at them. And I think Sony's going to be a lot more inventive and a lot more. Because
I mean, they already did throw the money. If it is true, I just don't really believe it. If it's true that they can't afford to put their games on PC, I mean, there's a lot of nuance to it. I do believe the PC thing day and date is not there because they don't have enough people to get, or they don't want their studios working on a PC port. They want them to perfect the console version so they can get the game out and have it the best it can be. Because there's a lot of work to do extra stuff. But as far as being day and date on a service at a highest tier, I really don't believe that they can't do it. I mean, Hargeet and I crunched the numbers, and it was unbelievable the amount of money they would make because you've already funded the game. Like, it's not like they have to lose money.
It's transformative. It is transformative,
Yeah.
and there are unknowns. And I still think there are risks with Game Pass. I'm sorry, a lot of people say that, but I'm like, luckily it's Microsoft. They can foot the bill. With Sony, it's a lot more tenuous. They have to give them time. You have to give.
Let
them
me say
time.
this, because I always get people come at me and say, it's not sustainable. They're losing money. They're hemorrhaging money by going into Game Pass. And Phil said it's sustainable. He's like, people always ask me, they're watching my wallet, right? Remember that?
Phil's going to say
quote?
that. Phil's going to say that.
Well,
Phil's
here's the thing.
has to say that. You'd be shocked if he didn't say that.
Right. I mean,
He has
I
to
just
say
can't
that.
imagine him saying, yeah, we're losing money on Game Pass, but that's not how it works. Like, this
If
is their
Phil
business
Spencer
venture.
said, like, unequivocally, we are already making a profit, because he kind of touched on it, but it was a very
But
drive-by comment.
It doesn't make sense. Like, the only thing that costs them money is buying the third-party stuff. Their stuff's already funded. So unless you think they're losing out on tons of sales, that's the only way. But
I mean, it
here's
depends
the
on how
thing.
you
It doesn't
rejig the
matter.
numbers. It doesn't matter, because
it doesn't
if
matter
it's on a
because
spreadsheet and you put 7 billion for ZeniMax, then that's a big red. There. It depends on how you chop and change the numbers.
that's true. Because somebody said to me today, they spent 70 billion, or they spent 7 billion on ZeniMax and Bethesda, and they have to make that money back. But that's not how it works. Like,
yeah,
even if Game Pass was losing money, it's bringing in so many people that makes money all the other places. And it's just like if you had a candy stand out in front of your house, right? I hate it when people do food analogies. But like, some stuff costs you money, but you're making money in other places. So it just doesn't really matter. But let me read a couple supers here. Oh, you got Hargi Chani says, he put in a couple keys, but they've been up for a little while. He says, thank you for the $10, Hargeet. He says, I entirely disagree that the PS4 single player exclusives matter. He says they're nice, but the PS4 had market share because of Call of Duty, having Madden, FIFA, NBA, etc. Plus, Call of Duty made the PS4 the de facto platform.
I disagree with that, because I think there's a cascade effect when it comes to how the mass market receives or perceives a brand. It comes from us, the core gamers. When we espouse or what we perceive as quality, it cascades to the masses. We're literally the signal.
When you go into Target on Black Friday, I don't know if that's a global thing. I don't like to speak like localized, but if you go, okay, let me say it this way. If you go into a big retail store on the holidays and they've got I was just doing my experience, and they have a pallet of PlayStation 4s. Okay. Take yourself back a few years. You go in on a holiday and there's a pallet of PS4s and they've got them marked for $199. What is the majority of customers thinking that when they grab that they're going to get, like, that they're going to be playing on it? Like, is there a couple of PlayStation exclusives? They're like, you're thinking, I'm trying to think back for the PS4, right? Like, you're going to bring home this PS4 to your kid, or you're going to buy it and bring it home because you're going to be playing Uncharted, maybe? What is the majority when they grab that off the floor, off a pallet, thinking, I'm getting access to this and this, like 2 games? What are they saying?
If it's parents, then it's what the kids will ask them, and the kids will ask whatever their friends are playing. And there's a chicken and egg situation. And we're like, well, what are their friends playing? Their friends are playing the console their parents bought. Or where did it start? There's a cascade effect. There's obviously, we have to go back. Hoggett's right. Ultimately, it's the multi-platform games. Where's all the money's at? That's where it goes. But
people aren't dumb. Like, obviously, I want you to finish what you're saying, but obviously everyone knows that that most people are looking for Call of Duty, right? The next Call of Duty Black Ops 3 or whatever, right? Back then on the PS4, but they're not dumb. They know that there's a unique game, and it's probably, I'm so dumb. Spider-Man was probably the biggest, the thing you thought of there toward the end of the generation, right? So they obviously know that's there. Oh, at least that game.
Look at the game,
Spider-Man. And what did Xbox have? Recore. No, I'm just kidding.
Crackdown, which you spent 100 hours playing.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's good it's interesting to talk about that, like what's really important. And I completely agree with David Jaffe there. And people are saying David Jaffe wants Phil Spencer gone. I don't think that's the case.
No,
and
that's not.
That.
No, he was actually referring to the head of studios. He's somebody who's more punchy and more demanding, someone who's flying out to these studios across the world very often and saying, smacking the back of one of the guys, how are we looking on this, looking over their shoulder. And I say the same thing. And I really like the head of studios and got to meet him. And he's not a pushover, but we don't get to hear about him flying all over the US and grab someone by the neck and going, you almost done with that?
It's like, oh, you're gonna do another Crackdown, are you? Yeah.
You do the thing where you grab the thumb and you push in like this. You push up and in, and it hurts so bad it takes very little force. You go and you grab the head of the studio, and you're like, "How's it going on that game?" And they're like,
"Oh my god, we can't do that anymore. It's not Office Space days where we."
Yeah, it's not Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Or let me read a couple here. Dub with the $5 says, do you think there's a possibility that Sony will force Bungie to complete exclusivity to compete with the Xbox Live Service plans in the future? So, Gaz, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to ask Bungie to make an exclusive even though they said they won't?
I mean, that's going to be really tricky. How they could... I don't trust Sony's statements. I really don't. If anyone would actually back down on them, it would be Sony. I really so I was listening to Colin Moriarty on Sacred Symbols, and he was saying, look, I told you Game Pass is unsustainable. They have to go multi-platform. No, Colin, it was Call of Duty, and it's $70 billion. That's why it's not profitable for Microsoft and Xbox to make that multi-platform. Then, conversely, look at Bungie. Why are all their future games multi-platform? What? Because they're live service games, right?
I think Bungie said, "Sure, we'll let you buy us, but we're making games for everybody." That's the deal. And Sony had to say, crap. All right, fine.
That's how more desperate they were. That's a very against Sony's mantra. Sony's all about depriving everyone else from playing those games. That's what they do. They do timed exclusive. They did it with Tomb Raider 2 all the back in the day. For all the people who keep bringing up, Microsoft bought timed exclusive for Tomb Raider in the Xbox One generation. Look at Tomb Raider 2, years ago, before Microsoft was even in the gaming space. So it's ultimately, it's just, well, I don't. What was the original question? I was going to talk about.
So flustered. I think you got it. You think you got it. Is Bungie going to make an exclusive?
I want Bungie to make PlayStation exclusives, man. I really think it's such a shame that they're going to be multi-platform. I would love it.
I just don't know what they're going to do. Are they just going to consult on multiplayer stuff and say, look, here's the magic. Here's what works. Because I know Bungie's we'll give you just enough to get you hooked and then not enough so you'll keep coming back next week and playing the same missions you already played last week.
Yeah.
And this message is brought to you by the XNC Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Gaz, who's absolutely incredible and a really good friend. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. We're got a couple more things to go through. The next super chat comes from Slate Bronco. Thank you for the $5. It says, do you all think World of Warcraft to be added to Series X? No.
Very good question. And Microsoft should be at least exploring that, because that would be huge for what I would imagine. Bear with me, not that much work. And when I say that much work, I'm not talking about your typical port. I understand. I used to play COD, WoW, quite a bit. That there is some work, but the future WoW games, or the current WoW games, I'm not talking about classic. They have been streamlined and dumbed down really for the masses. And I have a friend who's playing classic. Actually, you can play. I actually tried it myself. And back to WoW Classic, you can potentially play that on a controller. And WoW Classic is crazy. So? It's got 1,000. Yeah, there's ways around it. There's obviously not ideal. There's a lot of radial buttons once you press RB.
And you have to do stuff so quickly.
The new COD isn't.
Yeah,
but the new COD is much more simplified. More simplified. It would be stupid not to explore it. And I think they could get a dedicated team just to go ahead and work on that. I think they could easily do that. That would be genius.
My fear is that Xbox has this mentality lately where they're like, We'll put that on PC, and they're like, "What about Xbox?" They're like, "We don't have to," and I hate that mentality.
Yes.
Even though I probably wouldn't play it, I would love for WoW as it is to be put on the Xbox Series X. As I've said, and people get so mad at me, put it on the Xbox console on the store and say, no controller support, mouse and keyboard connected.
I don't
only.
like that. I don't like that.
I don't care. Could you play WoW? Would you take? I've got a wireless keyboard here. Hook it up to your Series X.
No, I'm sorry. I can play WoW. Can run on a bloody mobile phone at this point. I've got a PC right here. Why would I? But I'll tell you now, if WoW came out on Xbox, I would resub like this. Why? Why would I resub where the controllers would be harder, but it's on a controller? Because ultimately it's like me playing with my friends in party chat, get Colt in on it, playing on a controller, sit back and I can play with the controller on PC, but it's different.
I say that because I don't think that Blizzard's going to make controller support on WoW natively. They probably won't even bother doing it
so easily. I think they can. I
love that.
I think Microsoft could really. My friend had it. It's really good. Oh yeah, this control. Microsoft, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for in the app because I bought this controller. It's already drifting. Drifting.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because how long have we had this controller?
Bro,
almost a year.
A few months.
I'm going to show it to the camera. Nothing is peeling off. I've got no stick drift, no bumpers going out. This thing, I use this thing every day for the past 10 months. What are you guys doing to your controllers?
Bro,
I don't know.
I've got
but I hear they do fall
multiverses, and it's like he looks right. And when I'm doing the controller config, I even screen recorded it, and it's just going right. It's just stupid. Microsoft going to pay me for that? That's just a lot of money for this.
Looking at my rear end when I got up. Here's the Elite from 2018. I don't have the back on it because I have my rechargeable pack. But here's another Elite, completely perfect. I don't know. I guess I do. I don't know.
I skipped twice.
All right, let me read another super chat.
Yeah.
I got a doo-doo in my butt. Lucky Mo with $5. Did you write that in the topics?
Yeah.
You're so awesome. Lucky Mo, thank you for the $5. He says, I don't believe that PlayStation is capable of dropping day one releases due to hardware issues. Microsoft spending billions of dollars building their servers. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Red Wolf with a $5. That is something to think about. Red Wolf with the $5. Thank you so much. Says, sorry, I have to go, gents. I'll rewatch multiple times as always. Colt, thanks for making the club on Xbox. Excited to join and excited to see it published. Okay, so I've got this X&C Xbox club that I have to send out invites to some channel members and patrons. And then we just need to party up and play games. Udani Kuzada put Cult of the Lamb code, which is like a new hot indie game. And he said missing characters are the I guess he means V and G. Devolver Digital rocks. Yes, Devolver Digital is amazing. Play Weird West. I got so hooked on that game. Hectic World with a $5 says Xbox has free server in Azure, so it makes money. Now, that's true. They don't have to pay for that because that's their deal, and they're making money on enterprise. So Gamer by Choice at the $5 says Game Pass is like gas at a gas station. Gas prices bring customers to the store, but you make money on the items inside the store. Great show. Oh yeah. Do you have gas stations over there in the UK, or do you guys just use petrol?
Oh, you have literal gas stations? That's what kind of question. No, we only have petrol. Like you have actual gas?
What? What do you mean?
We have petrol and diesel.
Yeah, we have gas over here. We have gas and we have
gas?
diesel. We have gas, yeah. Yeah, unleaded. It's great. It's great. A Risky for the Biscuit with the Australian $8 says, I believe the state about Call of Duty exclusivity was it does not make financial sense unless it brings in a large amount of players to Xbox's ecosystem for Call of Duty. So they can still make money on the PlayStation for Call of Duty, right, Gaz? And then they can also get a ton of people drawn in to Game Pass to play Call of Duty instead of buying it for $70. And PlayStation is scared that people...
That's going to be
PlayStation is like legitimately scared that people will not buy a PlayStation because they're like,
as they should be.
There you go.
As they should be. We'd be stupid not to. Trickle down effect. That's how you get Game Pass numbers up. Call of Duty. Microsoft, well done for having the balls to put that number through, but that's what they're, unless the quality. I was watching King Thrasher's video and he had this genius ideas like,
wait, you just
you know what?
you just used the word quality and King Thrash in the same sentence. What were you talking about there?
He was
Remind me to go back
that's true,
to Garuda and
that's true, that's
Truda's super from an hour and a half ago. But anyway, you're watching King Thrash's video, and what do you say?
He was talking about how, you know what Sony could do to outplay them? Just buy all their stuff. There's nothing Microsoft can do. Look, and then immediately he cites Bungie, and then the company that paid Sony, the company that paid $1 billion retention program for the staff. I'm like, do you
Double standard.
1 + 1? No, it's literally this next sentence. I'm like, bro, you literally just said it. It's so funny. I find him entertaining, as toxic as he is. But no, absolutely. Call of Duty is going to be transformational. The moment that happens, I am already, it's on my timeline, working on the source vid for that. It's going to be the best high
You're
production.
like, you got it in the chamber.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm only like micro edits already. I know what the video is going to be like. It's going to be me on speed. It's going to be, I'm going to inject sauce into my veins. That is going to be an event when COD comes. If I'll still say if, and remember this, folks, this ABK acquisition is going to be, they're going to be ups and downs. There's going to come a point, in my opinion, based on my just guessing, but considering the scale of this deal, where it's going to look like the deal is not going to go through.
It'll get worse before it gets better, sort of thing.
It's going to be like that. Imagine, chat. You guys are convinced it's going to go through. Imagine if it doesn't go through. Just imagine. Oh my God. The ponies would be out in force, as they should be, because of all the noise we've been making about how big it is, which is big. But can you imagine? There's no surefire hit on this. So if it doesn't go through, it'll be absolutely disastrous for Xbox. It'd be fun for the ponies. It would be horrendous for Xbox guys. Look at Colt now. Can you imagine if it didn't go through?
It's a real possibility. And Garuda and Truda at the beginning of the show said, if the deal closes, like the entire back catalog of Activision and Blizzard would go into Game Pass. And I was wondering, I was like, would it, or, you know, would it only include, I would assume it would include anything that's on Xbox One via back and pat, right? A couple of 360 games that are in back and pat, which I don't think there are very many. And then a couple of Xbox One era games. So you might see a situation where they add like 20 games to Game Pass once that closes. And then, you know, Call of Duty will go in there once they get the, you know, Sony's meat hooks off of it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know how transformative that's going to look, because remember when they dropped Skyrim and Prey and Wolfenstein and all those games into Game Pass, that 1 week, it was like, boom. You know, now this.
I mean, they could do that unless the existing contractual obligations have those blockers in there as well. Like
Yikes.
you're not allowed to have them on a Game Pass. Like Microsoft can just don't piss off there. But
and I also don't think it's not closing in 2022. And there's a lot of talk about it. Zocker87 did a video today about the deal possibly closing in 2022.
I don't think it's going to completely
not happening. I think we're going to see lawsuits first.
Summer of this year, yeah? Special Nick. I've got the receipts. Running out of time, bruh. You're running out of time. Bro, this guy, Special Nick, thinks it was going to happen yesterday. No, it's not. If it doesn't happen 2022, I want to come for your neck. There's no chance it's
my
coming.
gosh.
It's going to go next year. It's going next year, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a mad thing that happens next year. There's so much going. Next year, you're going to have, oh my God, you're going to have all the games that Microsoft neglected to show at this year's E3, next year's E3, in-person event. E3 is back. All the games need to show. I think.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
pray-
Xbox will have 3 or 4 big games in 2023, plus
They
that Activision
need to-
deal will probably close in the summer of 23 or
Yeah.
maybe sooner. It just depends. I think we're going to see a
Could
couple
be.
lawsuits that Xbox will fight through, and that's finally when those lawyers will come through. I asked Hoag's Law about exclusivity because somebody was saying that PlayStation, get this, that PlayStation's trying to get Xbox to put all of their games on PlayStation. Like they're using this situation and this regulatory fight right now to posture Xbox so that they'll have to say, fine, let us get the deal, but all games go on PlayStation. And I asked Hoag's Law, he's like, it's not that deep. And it's certainly not about exclusivity. As he said, he doubles down again that this deal is not about exclusivity. It's about market position and a monopoly. Colin Prime.
For the FTC? Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Really recommend whenever Hoag's Law talks about this particular deal, because you're all here, you're interested in this subject. Somebody said earlier in the chat, guys, like, you guys are a bunch of nerds. Why are you talking about this? Just enjoy the games. It's like, no, like this panel and this audience, like you guys are all here. You guys and girls are all here because this stuff, you really like this stuff. Like you love the games, you love the meat and the potatoes and the gears behind what gets the games to market and how they get
You
made.
are the core gamer.
Yes.
You are the core gamer. All of you in chat listening in are the same as us. We're all the same. We're core gamers.
I mean, you can sit in a recliner with a beer in hand and watch your football game, right? But there are so many fans that want to hear about the drafts, the franchise deals going on, the injury list, who's coming in, where they stand, the stats, and like how this person's going to do when they step up to the plate in a baseball game, all that stuff. And you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here, helping us run the show. You're all fantastic. Hit the like button. We got 500 likes now. Let me read this super from that goes back to the controller thing. Colin Prime, thank you so much for the $10. Says Final Fantasy 14 has an open source controller UI that World of Warcraft can use, and that World of Warcraft has controller support, but it's very limited. So an open source controller UI would probably mean a software thing that they can massage and work into. So that would be amazing.
All the time. I've tried it on WoW. It works really well.
I tried it on WoW.
I tried it on World of Warcraft. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Edwin Garcia, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says the sacred symbol guys don't speak to me anymore.
They don't speak to me anymore. Dustin Furman unfollowed me. You know what? I sent him a little video DM. One day I'll post it. It's me driving, and I'm like, so it's like that. Oh, Dustin, why, Dustin? Just me screaming at Dustin. I mean, look, I made a source video. I came at them, but in a comedic way. I pre-warned them. I said, hey, look, don't take it to heart. It's just fun. But people are sensitive. People don't understand that. Maybe I'm being a bit of a, but it's just for the comedy. It's just appreciate their craft. We would come around. We would have food. We'd just chill together. You can make fun of. Please, like, do a retalk counter video. I'm like goading the ponies to do it. Except ponies can't edit videos to save their lives. So I'm like, okay, Colin.
Their video is like an image on the screen the whole time where they're like,
bro, King Thrash literally is on the toilet and he's got bloody in video literally recorded. I'm not joking, it's on his phone. You can hear the phone vibrating. I'm like, this guy, I mean, fair play to him, he's still got charisma, but like at least put some production in your videos. But back to like Dustin Furman and Colin Moriarty, we had him on my show. I really do like those guys, and I think he has good takes. Don't always agree with them, but just like, it's a shame. But that's the cost of the sauce.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Friendship or sauce? It's always sauce. Sauce. Zorka, what are you doing? Are you having a stroke? Are you frozen? You're frozen. Oh shit! Has he frozen for you? He has frozen. Have I disconnected? I'm talking to myself right now. Really stupid.
I think we're back. I've never had that happen. I'm like, am I still frozen?
No, you're back. You're back.
Okay.
It was so funny because you froze.
I'm looking at me frozen still. So, are we still live? Yes, it looks like we're back. I'm still waiting for it to come back. Yeah, I just had a hiccup in the internet. It's like,
There was a point where I was just talking to myself, where I'm like, oh.
I mean, I could hear you. I hope you could hear while we're talking. I remember what I was saying. Oh, let me say about, they unfollow, right? When this is so lame, but when you get enough followers or you have your own content and you build up channels and you have a certain amount of people watching you, you get an extra amount, the normal of people who are going to hate at you, right? Like I said earlier, like I don't go onto a band's Twitter and say, that one song, that song, I don't like that song. It's so lame. Like I don't do that, but people do this to, like we said, in the space, they'll go to someone and critique, like Colin Moriarty says something and we don't agree with it because on my Xbox narrative, it doesn't line up to what we believe, or maybe something he says just isn't completely right. So we go after him. Right. Well, that stuff gets old, especially when you have Colin Moriarty has like 100,000 plus people who are checking out his stuff all the time. Right. So, it's going to happen. And I took a lot of flack a couple weeks ago because I blocked someone who was critiquing my headline in my video. But the problem is I get this stuff all the time. People complain about the way my voice sounds. They complain about how big my forehead is. They complain about how I edit my videos. Too many crosses. Why do you got to put up the thing that says to subscribe to your channel so many times? Why do you like Xbox? It just goes on and on. It becomes this noise that's nonstop. And everyone's, when you're enough, you're just like, you know what? I don't want to hear from you. So
no, listen, chat. That's a very honest insight into it. Like a lot of people, because I'm starting to see it where people are like, "Oh, you guys, you don't even respond to the DM." Like, I don't even see the DM because I've got a filter there for new people. Or like, you guys think you're too big. I'm not like that at all. But if you're in the space, everything becomes a blur because you do it aggressively. You hone your craft. You haven't got time to look in the rearview mirror. You have to go forward. It's not us being dicks. It's just not being D words. It's just have to move forward. And things sometimes just get like it's a blur. Because people will complain. The worst thing I can hear, that video was rubbish. Or that wasn't that good. So
because it's an attack on your work, right?
So then I was like,
I do take it personal, so to speak, right? When someone says something about all the information I gather and I took the time to show it in a certain way, and I feel like it's an attack on my content, but I feel like there's 3 levels, right? There's the first level where you're small, you're just getting going, and you're like, I could take it, I could take the heat because it's good PR, right? It's good, it's good push for my content. And then you get to a certain point where I feel like I'm at where I have so many people that rip on me, I get intolerant, and then you get really big eventually, hopefully, or you just do this the whole way where you're like, I don't care what anybody says, just keep moving forward, everything's going great. And I'm trying to get to that point, but you get in so many console war fights, you grab somebody by the shirt and you twist their earlobe around, and then you get sex bots in your chat and your moderators, but
no, that's a very good insight. You're right. That the way you traject. I've actually mentally just assumed the third one. Not that I'm big, but I'm just like, you know what? Ultimately, it's all about my craft. Don't care about cancel culture. Don't care about all the people crying. My video is good, and I'm proud of it. And I'm pushing the game. That's all I should care about. And in that mental noise, everything else is a blur. You just go for the content. Just go for it.
My good friends,
how many people hate you.
My good friends, really great followers, and followers or audience people I feel like are part of my friend group. People like you or people like Ran, right? They tell me all the time. I'll say so and so said, or somebody, Water Egg 32 said this about my video, and you guys will say, people, any of you will say, Cole, really, how many people said that? Out of all the people, how many compliments did you get on your last video? And I would say 12. Well, how many people complained? 1, right? Like that kind of ratio. And, but you guys are fantastic. And, once in a while I'll see, I don't like that Gaz guy on the show, he's weird. And then I'll scroll down like 2 more. It's like, I don't like this cult guy, but Gaz is cool. I'm like, dang it.
I get that all the time. I actually laugh at those comments. So it's just like, this guy's voice is disgusting. My natural instinct is to laugh at that. I don't know why, but it's good. I'm grateful for that. Like, whatever. It's like, At the same time, it's because I know like the person saying that probably is like a leprechaun. He's just like he just sounds like he's got asthma pump. Like, I know you can't do what I do, or if you could do it, why are you not doing it? Like, it's like that kind of. That's my take on it. Like,
yeah, as I say, some of these people couldn't hold the attention around the water cooler at work with their coworkers longer than 2 minutes, let alone try and do a show. And we try to do our best, but I mean, look over the chat right now. They're freaking amazing. And all these names, like everybody we recognize, but let me grab a couple more supers. Except for Riskit. He's a fraud. He's a good friend. And he's such a good guy to hang out with on chat too. Cool. You made me lose my spot here. Red Wolf with the $5 says, hey, never mind, I'm back. I would like to, what would it take to get a monthly Patreon member-centric podcast where we can call in and ask questions for a limited segment?
Ahead of the game. Come to Game On Daily. That's exactly what I'm building already. Tuesday show. It's called a call-in show. Yeah, it's a call-in show. It's going to be very bad because people are going to call in and say all kinds of swear words and racist terms, and we'll have to figure that out. But it's going to be tiered, so the patrons, then members, then people use the website Game On Daily. But yeah, it's coming because you're the community. There needs to be a two-way communication. Whether or not you guys are going to be most of the people are going to be one, have terrible microphones, two, terrible personalities. That's not. Look,
yeah, that could be rough.
It's true.
They call him with their phone across the room.
You're gonna get some guys gonna be like, he's gonna be like,
so like, Halo isn't that bad. Halo Infinite is good. You just hate on a Halo because you clout chasing piece of shit.
And you're gonna get that. I'm sorry, but that's my view on it. Like, you're gonna get some people excited. Some people are really nice. Some people were amazingly talented. Yeah, so I know people like this who just need the push. Or just need
Red Wolf, I could think about something like that, but I think it might be like a pre-recorded thing so I can like plug it in. With this new setup, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but that's a good idea to think about because the chat is always such a big part of the show. I was watching David Jaffe's stream and he was doing call-ins and a guy called in and goes, PlayStation has the best exclusives. And Dave Jaffe's like, yeah, I agree. They're really good. And he goes, they're just better than Xbox. And he's like, and then the guy goes, and they're better than Xbox fans. Xbox fans are trash. He's like,
oh yeah.
He goes, I wouldn't recommend joining a party because those fans are trash. Yeah. And David Jaffe's like brain cells were like,
he is so patient. He's so patient. He's like, okay. It's just like, and then the Xbox unit goes, Xbox inevitable. I was like, so what does that mean? What does it mean Xbox is inevitable? I was laughing. I'm like,
I'll tell you what,
cringe everywhere.
This is the lowest point for Xbox. This year has been really, and it's been tough for everybody. Like even over half of our multiplats have been pushed out, right? But still, Xbox has such a great setup going.
Jeffy does not only like Sony story games.
No, he doesn't.
He streams so many random games. PC games. He's been waxing lyrical on Game Pass. Said is the best value in gaming that ponies came after, and you still make that comment. So selective amnesia. He's been getting in the neck for Game Pass, like literally like guzzling on Game Pass juice. Sounds weird.
The GPJ, the Game Pass use. Joel Williams with the Australian $5 says next year will be fire with all the games coming out. Xbox will finally show where all that money has gone with gaming over the last 5 years. I did a video about the roadmap, Gaz, and really tried to illustrate by putting the games on screen and explaining exactly what they were. How Xbox finally bought studios, but they were all busy making games for everybody else. So, and then with COVID has been basically 3 years of delays. So Fire Shadow, the Australian 5, you got to love the Australian people who are chilling here around noon or 1 o'clock their time on a Tuesday, right? Fire Shadow says, Legends, honestly, I was annoyed finding out Sony blocking potential Game Pass IP indirectly, forcing full price for other platforms. # anti-consumer. We already heard proof from the Epic Apple legal documents that Resident Evil Village, they were told, here's some money, don't go to Game Pass, right?
So a lot of people are bringing that up now like it's a new revelation, but we saw that last year. Oh, whenever the story broke. they did that with Resident Evil. Sony need to
What
be
is
called
your-
out on it. That's absolutely rubbish practice. Not only that, they deprived PC on Resident Evil 7 from having VR. Timed exclusivity of
What?
VR. Yup,
Why? Because they want to
100%.
push it to PSVR 2 or something?
In the PSVR, the first Resident Evil 7 on the What-
Okay. I thought you meant Village.
No, not
I was just
Village,
gonna
but
ask
I
you
think the same
guys-
thing applies there. I'm not sure, but they did that. Absolute pony move. That's the only thing
I was
can
going
say
to
about
ask you,
swearing.
Gaz. People say it's just business. Like, so what? Like you pay to keep your competitor from having an upper hand. Like, what do you think about that statement? It's just business.
Look, absolutely, you're right that it's business, but you're a consumer, so stop getting shafted or inviting getting shafted. It makes no sense. Like, at least, okay, it's just business. Like, that's what criminals say when they kill their own family member or something. You know, in the movies, they could just go in there. They're like, sorry, it's
Not
nothing
personal.
personal. It's just business. This cliche line. It's like, all right, show Yoshida, just kill some kids. What the hell? Come on, man. You're consumers. Use your brain. Like, for ultimately, there is such a thing as bad practice, bad business practice. That doesn't actually help the industry. How does Resident Evil 7 getting timed exclusivity for VR help the industry? Help anyone?
I mean,
Why
you don't
can't
need to
PC
help the industry. You got to watch out for your own business.
Absolutely, but then
The
at the
problem
same
is
time,
Sony's
it's like,
tried to say, whoa, hold on, regulatory committees, like, what about us? What's going to happen to us when Microsoft is literally, somebody tweeted, Xbox is keeping their games from other publishers. And I'm like, what? Like, every game
By
that Xbox
buying-
comes out is going to be published by their own publishers, which is Xbox and ZeniMax, right? And Activision Blizzard, right? They will publish their own games, but when you're on Xbox, you're everywhere but a PlayStation. Let me read two more super chats.
That's
Or one more. Risk for the Biscuit says, with Australian, thank you for Risk It. He says, paying to stop growth of a competitor is shady. I don't.
That's a simplistic view on it, because ultimately, you're still looking out for yourself. Self-preservation is important. I am a proponent for companies being ruthless in competing against each other in going for that. But I don't think it's as black and white as that. It's like, Sony have to look. Let's look at it this way, Risk It. If Sony didn't do that, they didn't contest their Xbox acquisition at ABK, and ABK happens and it fully crushes the PlayStation business, they go out
Can it?
of the business. I'm just giving the worst case, in fantastical scenario.
They're definitely
happens.
worried, even before this, because
I mean, they're worried, but
the deal with
the point
Resident Evil, right?
No, that will never happen. But the point I'm making is ultimately Sony has to look out for it. We would lose out because PlayStation not being in the gaming space would be horrible for us gamers. It would be horrible. PlayStation
Like if Xbox
not being in the
bowed
gaming
out,
space and
right?
Xbox, why? No chance. I'm sorry. As big of an expert I am, Sony has earned that place more than Microsoft has for me, because the quality speaks. I know all that would change, and personally, I'd be like more hurt if Xbox went. But ultimately, PlayStation, I have to give them kudos. I do not want them to be out of this space.
It's because of PlayStation that we're getting things like Hellblade and Avowed and stuff like that. That kind of caliber, because Xbox knows they need to deliver that to 10% or 20% of their audience that starves for that sort of thing, right?
So funny.
Biff Rinaldi, thank you for the $5. He says Xbox breaks sales records with no games. I love this statement. He says once Activision deal is done, it's going to seem like rookie numbers. He's so right, because remember I said like 10 minutes ago, this is the worst, the lowest in their 20-year history, and they still
exclusive voice,
they still sort of, yes, thank you guys. They still sort of had better numbers in some avenues than PlayStation did.
Bro, even if it's a weak year, this will be the weakest year of Xbox the entire gen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
By easily the entire gen, this will be the weakest year of Xbox, and I'd much rather they have that weakness now this year, which has already been generally just a pretty weak cross-gen period anyway. So I don't really care that much.
You know what you all forgot about? I'm going to remind you what you all forgot about, because Xbox hasn't talked about it officially, but we know, thanks to Jess Corden at Windows Central, that this stuff completely exists. We know about the 23 studios and everything they're working on. Like 20 of the 23, we know what they're working on. But what we don't know is Xbox Global Publishing. And IO, the Hitman team, is working on a 4-player fantasy Project Dragon. You've got Contraband made by Avalanche, the people that made Mad Max. They're working on a 4-player Payday, heist Grand Theft Auto game set in the 70s, right? They also have a Monster Hunter World clone that they're making somebody's making exclusively for Xbox. So there's all these games that's in the works now. So like Gaz said, the generation just getting started. Global Publishing is going to have at least 1, maybe 3 games every year that they've cultivated and they're bringing in, like High on Life is one of them. But they'll have these games that are coming in that are not by the studios. They're just these extra games. So there's going to be this onslaught of games. And like Biff Rinaldi said, let me go back to his chat. He says, it's going to seem like rookie numbers when all this stuff, it just sucks that we had such a horrible decade last generation and in comparison. And now it's going to go flowing in. And Hargit Johnny, thank you for the $5, says with Resident Evil 8, they had marketing rights. PlayStation did. I think Microsoft is pointing out that PlayStation is just paying to keep games off of a sub-service like Stadia, Luna, Game Pass, etc. Yeah, it definitely shows their weakness. Gaz, is PlayStation scared of Xbox?
Absolutely.
And with that, we are going to sign out. Gaz, tell the audience what you're working on. You guys didn't do Go Live because you were with family and out and just took a break. What's going on for Go Live and Game On Daily this coming week?
So this week, I am hoping it's a very busy week because I'm on leave next week. Trying to get a video Let's Play, and I need to get you on it as well. A Let's Play of Multiverses, which is a great game. I just want to get people that in the community, Zorka and them lot, and hopefully someone from the community as well, just to play that and have explore more content. I did a replay video of Max Payne. I was really proud of the video, but it did no numbers. YouTube didn't push that at all. I thought it was one of my better edited videos. So I'm going to do a lot more replays as well of old games. So there's that. Source videos, daily news videos. Please do check it out. Go Live is back on Saturday. Source packets. That's what Colt calls those news videos. Source packets. So if there's new news this week, I will try and smash out a source video. Just been, You've been asking Gaz what happened, and he totally ignored me. Splendiferous. I didn't. You always say stuff like that.
What happened the weekend? Why
on
you guys
Saturday?
didn't have the show?
Asa is the main reason. Was I had family coming over, but it was Asa who was away on a holiday. That's why Asa does all the running of the show, so that's why it didn't happen. Next week we're back, and the following week I'm not on because I'm abroad. But yeah, please just Game On Daily, one word, GameOnDaily.com. Oh, sorry, that just reminded Colt. X and C will have to be without me. You don't care. You don't care. Yeah, but yeah, please do check it out. If you check out the source video, it's all satirical. Enjoy it in the spirit that's in. Phil Spencer, I love you. Make sure
Phil Spencer, go live.
And fire everyone at 343. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Thank you so much.
Smash that like button.
Yes, please smash. Get it to 518. I put out a lot of content lately. I put out a lot of content, lady. When I'm with you, I'm smiling. Give me. Oh, I'll get demonetized for singing Sticks. Wednesday in a couple days, I'm going to be gone for a couple days for vacation, so I'm not sure if I'll have content out, but thank you guys so much for checking out the show, and I hope next week everything is like silky smooth and great. I can't wait. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like up. Xbox upgrade.
Next week, XNC gets a massive tetanus shot of dankness. Check it out. It's going to be amazing.
I really hope so. Thank you, everybody. Cool. We're going to get out of here. It's like 3 30 in the morning for Gaz. I am so sorry, bro. I am so sorry. We're gonna get out of here and hit the magic button that says we can get out of here. So thanks for your all your support. We'll have this up on Spotify, Google, and Pocket and Apple Podcasts here momentarily. And you have a great day, and I'll see you next week.
I gotta do it in my bed.
And I don't know what to do.